Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hi. I am not sure what to expect out of this game, but I am excited. I feel pretty good. I ate 3 slices of cake. I know I shouldn't have, but I did nonetheless. I could have eaten 4, but nah, I brought one home. I was good, or semi-good, for not eating all the cake. Only most of it. Though I am excited for this. Let's see how this goes. Oh no! Okay, let me check that. Let me fix that real quick if I can. Let's see. Maybe it's because the game's not even on there. I wonder if that's why Restream did not change it. Let me check. Oi. Oi, what you broken for, huh? You punk. Don't mind me just seeing if I can fix that manually. Okay, search for category. Boop. Okay, summer. With the... Oh, it is on there! What the heck? Why didn't it change earlier? Oh well. Now it should be fixed. And if it's not, then gosh darn it. Because I just changed it manually. Yeah, I think it's good now. It should be fine, and if it's not... Boo! Okay, it's fixed. Good. So let's start this. A summer with the Shiba Inu. Start. Ooh. Who is this? Okay, this is Sid. Say Max, you really can't tell me where you're taking us? Ooh, look at Max. Nope, I can't tell you. It's a secret. This is my old friend Max, who I haven't seen in years. Yesterday, he said that he would take me to lunch and show me around the city. We're currently in the central zone of Taipa, the capital city of Shiba Island. A lot has changed since I moved away. Max moved here several years after I did, so I'm a little embarrassed that he's the one showing me around like I'm a tourist. Taipa is as bustling as ever, with the central zone being one of its busiest areas. As Max guides us towards our unknown destination, dogs mill around the street. It's so busy on the street that— oh, that's a big dog! It's so busy on the street that it's hard to avoid pushing against other dogs as we walk. Huge digital signs shine brightly, even in broad daylight. Cute coffee shops, each with their own unique decor, catch my eye as well. I'm just getting distracted by these dogs. One has lush vines creeping all over the storefront, leaving only a gap for the entrance. Through the gap in the vines, I catch a glimpse of what looks like more plant life and thick tree stumps that serve as tables. Hey, that place seems really cool. Let's check it out sometime. Max pauses to take a look as I point to it. He cranes his neck to look inside. I've noticed it before too, on the way to work. I'd be happy to try it out. Okay, I guess we're going there. A short walk later... After several turns, we stop in front of a building. The building is made of red brick, with some steps leading up to it. Ta-da! I know it doesn't look like much out here, but the virtual tour looked great on Bark. Max approaches the door, but it doesn't open. He starts, catching himself before he runs face first into the door. He nudges the door with his shoulder. It doesn't budge. The door's broken? No idea. It seems like an electric place. That's the reason I chose it. Maybe there's some secret password we need to enter. Can you look it up? Yeah, Google it. Already on it. Max calls up his wrist phone menu, making some gestures in the air. We need to figure this out. Some reviews allude to something interesting we need to do to enter, but they don't say outright what it is. Oh, that kind of place sounds fun. I want to go to one of those places that have like a secret password. Like, that's a goal. What's the place called? It's just one letter, Q. Maybe it's closed today? I checked it, it shouldn't be. And if they couldn't update the real-time schedule for some reason, that's really weird. Wait, what's that? Isn't that a doorknob? What? A doorknob. You mean, wait, I remember something. Oh, come on, it hasn't been that long.
Why do I feel old because of the fact that I've seen doorknobs before?
I sit down before the protruding sphere and grip it with both of my paws. I'm able to turn it without losing my balance. The door swings inward to reveal a staircase. Good thing knobs are phased out though. Whoever invented these things clearly did not understand the anatomy of dogs. Understandable. It's precisely why many houses use them for rooms that puppies aren't allowed into. My parents used it for the pantry. I remember trying to bite on the knob to get to the promised land of treats, but ended up with only a particularly sore jaw instead. Well, there we go.
I haven't seen these things since the Ina days.
Our eyes meet and he looks away.
Anyway, we're here.
Ooh! The stairs lead to an area with wooden floor paneling. There are rooms that have raised base, separated from the main area with the sliding panels. The panels have some membrane-like material that is thin enough to let light through, but thick enough that we can't see into the other rooms. Woo! Look at that doggo pushing around a cart. A dog comes up to us in red traditional dress. It's fashioned with several layers, with a large golden button holding up neatly over the dog's shoulder. Welcome.
Hi, I called earlier and made a reservation.
He talks with the server and we are led to one of the rooms. I hoist myself up the ledge and make myself comfortable on one of the cushions around a low wooden table in the center of the room. Oh, look at him! The server gives us menus and leaves after a courteous bow.
Take your time. I'm guessing you haven't had food like this since you left.
Oh yeah, woof. I'd forgotten all about these.
Order anything you like, my treat.
There are lots of options. I flipped through the tea menu. This place serves them with ancient methods, with multi-part play apparatus that I never remember the name of. It invokes the image of my parents pouring boiling water, steam shrouding their concentrated faces. There are a lot of rules about how long to steep the tea, and the order of pouring water in and out. I never really paid attention when I was a puppy, and after my parents' generation, it seemed like a lost art. Thinking, if this place shows us the tea steeping process, I definitely won't let a second chance to learn about it pass by.
Isn't it interesting that they still use these books as menus? I remember they were pretty much phased out along with doorknobs? Yeah, that's one of the things. Well, this place is known online for the retro atmosphere, which is why they only take phone reservations, no usual order screens either.
Ooh, order screen, fancy. I'm so used to just scanning a QR code at this point, and then it's like, okay, scan the QR code, and then you order. Ooh, hello, hello, welcome, welcome, thank you for the raid. I hope your stream went by well. It's really interesting how fast things have changed on the island. Though maybe that's just my perception because, first of all, I don't know what's supposed to be normal nowadays.
What is it like where you were living?
They are kind of at a stage like when I left here, actually. You saw my phone. They have similar levels of technology in K9da. Ah, K9da. Though obviously my Shiba Island phone doesn't work there, but I kept it in good condition just in case I come back, you know?
Ha! You have a lot to see here then. Next time, I'll take you out to a regular restaurant and you'll get to see how fast everything is.
The server returns and we order some long tea to share. I order some egg crepe rolls and with ham and corn, and Max gets the century egg and pork congee. As we wait, I ask Max about some of the technological changes. He shows me how to set up a custom gestures on my new wrist phone, but I still treat it with caution. Call it habit, but I'm hesitant to be gesturing in the air on such a large holographic interface. Oh, that sounds fun. It serves my purposes to use the old touchscreens on a small phone. The hologram just seems overkill. Not to mention, the companies that make these phones must be tracking so much information. They know what we read, what we call, where we are, what we buy. Well, even with a touch phone, it still does that. Somewhere, some team of data Shibas are making predictive models and segmentation analysis on this data. Oh, sorry, I spaced out. Were you saying something?
Getting confused by all this new tech?
Maybe a little. Ooh, hello, hello.
Don't worry. It's a lot of information to take in. Here, try sending something to me like this.
Ooh! A Sid Doge app. Babark Talk. Test. Mad Maxi app. Babark Talk.
Come on, you couldn't have texted something else. Pretend it's an actual conversation.
You're in the same room. Right.
Hey, let's take a selfie.
No. As Max shows me how to install new software and customize my interface, we hear the server slowly slide open the screen door, giving us enough time to swipe away our hologram phone screens. 2 servers enter this time, carrying a tea-making set. The set consists of a large hollow bottom panel with holes to let out steam from hot water. They begin a process of lining up various teacups on top of the panel stand. The dogs carefully place tea bags in the pot, or tea leaves in the pot. They aren't using any measuring instruments, but the practiced way they gather and sprinkle the leaves shows impressive muscle memory. With one fluid motion, they pour steaming water in each of the cups. As the tea is steeping, our food arrives. I take a moment to simply look fondly at the egg crepe rolls. The way steam rises from under the soft crepe skin. The smell of ham misting out towards me. I just ate cake, but now I'm getting hungry again. Gosh darn it, game.
It really has been so long.
It's so weird that I used to eat like this almost every day, and now it's been years. I feel like I've gone back in time. Egg crepes are a simple dish, usually made in under 2 minutes by the breakfast stalls I used to frequent on the island. First, an egg is cracked and dropped into the surface of a sizzling metal plate. The cook then uses a metal spatula to smooth out the egg so that it is a thin liquid layer. When the egg is cooked around halfway, a thin crepe is laid on top of it, and flipped so the egg layers on top, and the crepe on the sizzling plate. Then on top, the cook adds any other ingredients of choice, such as ham or corn. Once fully cooked, the entire crepe is quickly rolled up and cut into bite-sized portions with a spatula. So much detail for this food, gosh darn it! Using the flat surface of the same spatula, the portions are then scooped up and swiftly placed into the take-out box.
Hope you enjoy. You can try some of my kongi if you want. I was feeling something light.
During the time, the tea is ready as well, and I blow on the surface of my cup, creating ripples. My first sip is hesitant as I try to adjust to the temperature. After a few sips, I can feel the strong tea aftertaste on my tongue. Thinking, this is bliss. We chat more as we eat, and I ask him about how the culinary norms have changed on the island. Apparently, most of the dishes I remember are still around. The largest change in cuisine is caused by the advancement in how food is produced. Max explains how, nowadays, a lot of ingredients can be produced synthetically, which reduces scarcity and seasonality. It is widely accepted that they are the same flavor and contain the same nutrients as naturally grown ingredients. I used to wonder why we have beef dishes in the island, but we've never seen an animal called a cow. I guess these synthetic flavors already existed 10 years ago, since beef has been around since before I was born. I just didn't know they were synthetic.
Beyond burger, I assume.
I learned from Max that lately, there's been a rise in restaurants that offer wilder, experimental foods with completely new synthetic inventions. Max shows me some pictures on his phone and we decide on a restaurant to try out next. He warns me that some flavors might really surprise me.
Even dogs that try these things now and then have trouble getting used to some of the most outrageous invented flavors.
I asked him to describe something he's tried before, but it was hard for him to convey it in terms of foods I know. For example, one tasted like cinnamon and cabbage flavor mixed, but that doesn't really describe it fully. That sounds cursed! I can only understand when I have the chance to try it, I suppose. We finish our food and reminisce a little more. However, there's one thing in our shared history we don't bring up. I get an uneasy feeling that I should wait a little longer for me to ease back into the culture of the island first. Max pays and we exit the restaurant. I'm full and nostalgic. we'll have a lot of time to do all these things, right? Back on the street, it's even busier than before we ate. It's the afternoon. Dogs probably don't have much to do but relax on the weekend. As before, the smell of all types of food wafts out into the street, and even food stalls start being set up. Well, that's what I guess they are. They look much more modern and clean. From the crash course in tech that Max gave me, they probably have automated ordering and all that, but the street seating and rustic charm remain. We push past a particularly crowded part of the street, and I feel a tap on my shoulder. I don't really think about it, as it was probably someone brushing past me with their backpack by accident or something. I continue walking when I feel it again. It could also be mistaking me for someone else. I turn around to check. Who's this? They look fancy. Sid! Who are you? She's a smaller Shiba Inu, but something tells me that she compensates for it with her attitude. Her gaze on me is steely, way too steely for comfort. It's concerning that she seems to have approached me with purpose. Hopefully, she really just recognized me by chance. You don't remember me? She scoffs, discontent written clearly on her expression. I'm not surprised, but I'm still disappointed. Now I have to waste time explaining things to you. Oh my goodness, is this gonna be like my lost childhood friend or something? What's going on? Some random dog just came up to me. You're Mochi, right? I remember you.
Oh, what? You? What are you here for?
My business is with Sid, of course, not with you. But it's very interesting to know that you two are in touch. She jerks her head to the side. Let's go somewhere more secluded, shall we? I don't know if I trust you, ma'am. I don't move. Well, if it's something important, why don't you just message me? I'll give you my contact info. I'll convince you quickly. In short, anyone can now challenge you to an arena. I understand now. Arena. But I don't think that many dogs know what you look like now, only a pawful. If you don't come with me right now, I'll post information online. I already filmed a video of you, so everyone will know what you look and sound like. This brat.
That's impossible. Ugh, Sid, ignore her, let's go.
How do I respond? Ooh, options. Wait, let me think. I'm curious, but I don't think Max will be happy. Maybe Max will be willing to hear her out. Well, I'm gonna go for this with my instinct first. If I regret this, whatevers. I'm curious, but I don't think Max will be happy. Wonderful. It took me 25.12 seconds. Slacker. It's okay, I'll go with her. You can head back and I'll meet up with you after.
I'm worried it's a trap.
I think I can handle it. I'll message you if anything seems weird.
Actually, I'll come with you.
Luckily, this is just the first choice, so if anything goes wrong, oh well. Alright, thanks, Max. I addressed a stranger. We'll go with you and hear you out, but convince me quickly. A tense walk later. We head to a nearby alleyway, Max looking quite reluctant and glaring at the Shiba Inu. Oh no, why are we going to a nearby alleyway? That's so sus! They know each other. I wish I could ask him what he knows about her, but the best I can do is make sure nothing bad happens. I need information about this arena challenge he mentioned. Who are you?
Sid, she's Hei Fen Hong.
Who? What? Flashback? I look the dog up and down. Up and down. Her face should be the most important part to recognizing her, but I realize I haven't even looked her in the eyes yet. It's a task not made easier by knowing who she is. It's like my eyes are resisting as I force myself against my will to look at her closely. Her eyes, a striking hazel, long lashes, her coat pale and fluffy. I lower my gaze. Ah, yeah, now I remember. It's been a really long time and you've changed a lot. I'm rambling yet, trying to put on a calm front. as I was saying, now that you're back, it's a very interesting situation for all of us. You weren't supposed to just take the feather and leave.
It's not like my leaving affected anyone.
Instinctively, I scoff and protest, but I know it's futile.
Easy for you to say.
Anyway, now that it's out of the way, she reaches into her shirt and pulls out her pendant. I avert my gaze again out of habit. I don't like looking at others' pendants because it feels like I'm intruding on someone's privacy if I look closely at what's on them. She moves closer and all but flashes her pendant in front of my eyes. I flinch away involuntarily.
If you want to show it to me, it's not necessary. I don't need to see it.
I start as I feel my pendant stirring in my jacket, or something is stirring where my pendant is. My pendant can't move by itself. That's impossible. Then my pendant flies out of its own will to meet hers. Then comes a glare of light, so brief that I barely comprehend what's happening.
What is happening for reals? Sid!
Max's voice is the last thing I register before everything goes dark. Did I just die? Oh wait, never mind. 1 week earlier.
Just one more snooze. Is this my room?
Yo, check out my crib, everyone. Look at my setup. Got myself a laptop, multiple monitors. Ooh, look at me being fancy. I fumble on the desk for my phone. I almost drop it, but finally manage to grab it and turn off the alarm. God, as usual, there's not much time left before my deadline working time, which means after the 4 alarms that I am allowed to snooze. Even though it's my last day of work, I should be on time. I uncurl myself from the chair, stretching my sore limbs. Well, this is certainly the last time I'm going to fall asleep at my desk. The room is dark with only a sliver of sunlight entering from the bottom of the blinds, giving indication that it is daytime. Ooh, it's bright. I slide off the chair, turn on the room light, and gather items I need for work, which are scattered around the room. Keys, cards, cash, cell. I always say I should pack up the night before so I'm not scrambling like this every morning, but I never end up actually doing it the night before. Ah, I know the feels. I shove my bulky laptop and water bottle into my backpack. Then I fling open my closet and reach inside for the sweater I thankfully had the foresight to set aside.
Gah, I can't find it!
In the days after I set aside the sweater, I had piled other things inside the closet over it. I shove away some of the other items, hats, papers, and whatnot. Aha! There it is, my favorite gray sweater, a special outfit for a special day. Everything collected, I sit down on the ledge of my bed and just take a moment. Now is the perfect time to check my emails. Oh wait, I'm already almost late. I'll just take a quick look. Vapor Store, confirmation of your vapor purchase. Dear Sidays, thank you for your purchase of 1 Beagle Netta 3. Attaches your digital receipt. Product ID number 460790. Transaction ID D0930 or 04F53T. Total $22.59. To access your downloads, please go to vapor.dog/account/downloads. Alright, oops. It's the purchase receipt for the game I had fallen asleep playing. I needed to complete the campaign. I waited 6 years for it. I glance at the top of my phone screen. There's still a couple of minutes before I absolutely have to head out. I close my emails and open the message app. I could send some last words, but I have the feeling it will only weaken my resolve. Just one last text to the most important dog wouldn't hurt. There's no need to say goodbye. It would just hurt her. I should go. Did I just break up with someone? Is that what I'm doing? I'm breaking up with someone and running away? Well, this run, I'm just doing whatever I feel like doing, so there's no need to say goodbye. It would just hurt her. I should just go. Huh. It took me 26.45 seconds, slacker. Game, are you judging me? How dare you? I close the message app and I turn off my phone. I'll just wrap up the remaining formal business and leave for good. I'll be faster next time, sheesh. The familiar glass doors welcome me. I scan my fob key and step into the building. It doesn't feel like it was that long ago when I first entered these doors. I had been a fresh recruit, full of hopes and dreams of making an honest living for myself and contributing to society. I'm just here to pick up my stuff and do the paperwork. I repeat this to myself as I head down the familiar staircase. Pick up stuff, paperwork, that's it. Other dogs start to file into the building, and some stop to wish me well on my move to the west coast of K9da. Last week, we had a small office celebration in honor of my work and departure from the job, which was heartwarming. It turns my heart to embarrassing goo, so I try not to admit how much I appreciate it. I enter my office, which is separated from the corridor by a metal door and glass wall. I scan my fob again. This is one of the most secure rooms in the building, despite that there isn't much to protect. Inside my office, I take a look at the computer monitors and the well-used keyboard. None of this is a personal property, but I'm gonna miss it. Funny enough, my office desk basically looks like my dorm at home. I feel guilty about leaving now that I'm here. Like I'm throwing away all that I've built. All this. Surprising as it might be to the general populace, this research facility is responsible for a big portion of the technological innovation in K9da. In fact, the phone that I'm using right now and the associated software was popularized by prototypes created in this very facility. I double-check the desk drawers again and fill out a form to submit to the Labrador Resources Department. With all the errands and formalities done, I take my leave for the last time. As I walk away, I can't help but look back at the building one last time. It's Q! No, I'm not gonna read it. It doesn't matter now, I must go. No. Back home, I get a backpack with some living essentials and of course, my other set of keys, card, cash, and cell that would allow me to get around during my travels. I reach into my shirt and take out my pendant. My pendant from Shiba Island. It has 10 orbs with smaller orbs surrounding them. What is this? I've been wearing it all these years, my last connection to Shiba Island. It's a remnant of a lifelong past, and while this pendant means nothing here, it's one of the essentials in a different land. It's time. I snap open the compartment in the back of the pendant. A once fluid movement, the clasp feels unfamiliar to me now. I have a good, stable life here that I've earned. I brought myself here. Giving this up means moving backwards. But that also means letting go of the chance to see my brother again. As long as time moves forward, I'll move forward too, no matter where I am. Inside the pendant's compartment is a small feather, already glowing now that I have removed its bindings. The feather of truth, whose holder can alter reality. Dang, I am awesome! I make a wish. I wish to go back. Ooh, it's magical. It feels like I've just stepped into a sauna. Within seconds, my coat feels heavy with condensation as if someone just threw a wet blanket on me. So, I'm here. I love that fancy doggo behind the stand. You see him on the right side? Beautiful. I have not moved one muscle since I made my wish to the feather, but these sounds, contrasted with the quietness of my room, gives me no doubt that my wish was indeed granted. In addition, these yelps and commotion really alert me to my situation. Shiba Inu scatter in front of me, yapping as if they saw a ghost. Was it that obvious I appeared out of thin air? This is not good. I can't believe I'm drawing attention already. I'm in what seems to be an open-air night market. I scan my surroundings, trying to spot a gap or opportunity to make an exit. These barks are different, deep and booming, a stark contrast to the higher-pitched yaps of the crowd. Ooh, hello, hello. I look behind me. and it becomes evident why the dogs are scattering, or maybe it's just wishful thinking that I'm not the cause. Ooh, look at that doggo. A Labrador retriever is bounding around, the Shiba Inus dwarfed by it in comparison. The crowd is herded towards the opposite direction. I slink around to the side and duck behind a food kiosk. Thanks to the Labrador, this area seems to be deserted. Now that I'm undercover, I sneak my way towards what I hope is an exit. After some trial and error through the web of kiosks and seating areas, I emerge onto the main road outside the market. Hey, this way! The voice comes from behind me, and I start, my fur rising at end against my will. What the fish fillet? Someone followed me without me noticing! Ooh, it's that doggo. The Labrador retriever from before emerges as a speaker, falling into step beside me. That was supposed to be a snarl, but it just didn't come out right.
Did you say something?
Ahem. I hope that was menacing enough. What do you want?
To help you, of course. I'll guide you somewhere safe.
Oh, friendly.
What? Who is this dog? I'll just feign ignorance for now.
Somewhere safe? I think he's mistaken me for someone else.
I don't want to be rude, but I know you've been away for a long time, so you probably don't even know where you are.
The Labrador's voice is soft, quiet, quite a contrast from her towering physique. Well, I'm quite used to this height difference in K9da, but seeing her towering over the crowd of Shiba Inus earlier amplifies the difference.
What to do? Continue to feign ignorance and hope she leaves me alone.
Tell her to get away from me! Aw, why can't I just accept her friendliness? Well, I'm just gonna feign ignorance and hope she leaves me alone. I don't want to flat out tell her to leave me or get away from me. This is getting creepy. It's like she knows who I am. What does she want? Well, I'll just pretend I don't know what she's talking about. I'm not going to reveal any information I might regret. You're not wrong. I'm just trying to get my bearings here. So could you just point me to the closest Mastiff Rapid Transit station?
Of course, but before that, I want to ask you some questions.
Okay, never mind. This is getting weird. I should just find the MRT station myself.
I just want to help you, Miss Feather.
What did you say? That's not my name. You definitely mistaken me for someone else.
Sorry, let me try that again. I didn't want to be so direct, but you didn't get the hint.
What? Could you speak up?
I mean, Sid, bearer of the feather, I want to help you.
Fishbones! She really does know who I am. Okay, you want to help me, you say? So I'll ask this again. Why don't you start by guiding me to a massive rapid transit station?
Don't worry, I will. But first, I want you to take this. She produces from her pockets a wristband of sorts. It's a wrist phone. I'll contact you with it, and you can reach me in turn.
Thank you, but why do you think we'll be in contact after this? There's no reason for me to get involved in whatever it is that you want.
Well, for one, I guess it would be troublesome if dogs knew you were back on the island, so I created a diversion.
That's not reassuring at all. She knows way too much about me. Who the Fishbones is she? I need to learn as much about her as possible.
I know you could really use my help.
So you've gotten yourself in trouble too, right? You'll probably get arrested for disturbing the peace like you did.
I have a story set up. Plus, I'm a Labrador living on Shiba Inu Island. I'm sure you already know I am constantly in the spotlight.
I know all too well, but I'm not going to say that. If she doesn't know I lived in the world of Labradors, I'm certainly not going to reveal that to her. Ha, when you put it that way. But like you said, I'm trying to avoid attention, so shouldn't I avoid being associated with you altogether?
She sighs quietly. I'd hope it wouldn't come to this, but you need to believe me when I say that I want to help you. I can help you find your brother.
Okay. I've heard enough. I'll take your
dog darn phone. But if I find out that you're any sort of threat to me, you better watch out. Of course, I understand. She offers a paw to me. Baily, by the way. Well, you already know my name. We shake paws. The Labrador just smiles mysteriously and gives me detailed directions to the nearest MRT station. DG station, huh? That means I appeared kind of far south. Good thing it's in Taipa though, where I need to be. What is this mystery? I head into the station while the lab heads off her own way. Ooh. So many thoughts are running through my head. The entire encounter still seems unreal, and it's something I could never have imagined happening. God, Sid, focus. First, you need to get to Max's. I find the MRT station according to the lab's directions. Thank dog the directions were accurate. Large hovering signs point out directions to various transit lines. Although I have been in the station in the past, it seems much larger than before, the layout having been expanded and rearranged. I slip out my pendant at the gates, scanning it to pay so it would allow me through. I keep the pendant face down and hope that no one thinks it's strange. There's a large interactive display, and I see that there are many more lines than before, basically crisscrossing the entirety of Taipa and the outer metropolitan area. I place a paw on the destination, and a route draws itself on the digital display from the current station to my paw. I follow the instructions to the correct platform, and the transit arrives shortly. Sometime later, the ride is smooth and I emerge up north in the city without accident. Of the city. It's a quieter residential area. My destination is sandwiched between other similar buildings that were built to be tall and narrow rather than take up the ground level. Approaching the well-memorized address, I feel more and more apprehensive with each step. A promise is a promise. It's the only place I can go. There's an intercom panel on the ground floor. Going through the names, I find the correct one. That's the one. Taking a deep breath, I tap on it. The door slides open shortly after I tap on the panel, but there is no further response or communication from it. Does Max still live here? I can go in, but what if it isn't Max that just buzzed me in? I hesitate, less than ideal scenarios running through my head. I take a deep breath. Stop it. There's only one way to find out. I step into the open door and onto a lift so small it could only possibly fit one dog. Well, one Labrador Retriever, 2 Shiba Inus. Oops. Still can't help but think about this in space in terms of canine dust space. Soundlessly, the lift rises, and I am a bundle of nerves. My stomach churns on nothing. I really do hope it's Max. Their intercom might not have two-way communication. My old residence did, but I can't assume everyone has it, even after all these years. I do still have his number on my old phone, but I wonder if my old phone balance is still valid. Before I can decide whether to attempt calling ahead, the lift comes to a halt. No other way but forward. I step out into the narrow corridor. Doors line the corridor, and I take a look at the order of the numbers before heading in the direction of the number 13. Just as I raise a paw to knock, the door swings wide open. You! Max! Sid! He ushers me in and makes sure that the door is closed securely. Oh, this is Max's house. Interesting. Well, it's neater than my house in this game. Look who it is. You're finally back. I've been waiting for this moment all these years. It really is him. He's here. He's kept his word. I'm so relieved. I'm so happy to see a familiar face. I reach out my paws to embrace him. He obliges, and I eagerly hug him close. He smells like honey and cream, and I notice that, under my touch, his coat is as sleek and shiny as ever. Dang, Max! I'm so happy to see you. Max just yaps happily, wagging his tail so vigorously that I can feel it moving him side to side in my embrace.
Max helps me settle into the place. It's quite cozy, and despite the modern exterior of the building itself, he's decorated his rooms with vintage furniture and flourishes. I get a feeling he's really into the vintage aesthetic. Maybe it's making a comeback on the island now? He shows me his collection of concert billets arranged on his wall. All of musicians that I know of, meaning they go back at least a decade. Remember Jay Chow Chow? Oh, of course! I remember when we'd watch his music videos back then on our flip phones. The days of 360p, yeah. It's a really nice apartment compared to Max's old one. I suppose his final ranking allowed him an upgrade. He gestures me over to his desk, and as I peer on, he sweeps aside a pile of old records. Then he wiggles under the desk to activate something. There's a hiss, and a panel slides open on the surface of the desk. It's a touchscreen panel glowing faintly with a green tint. I can see my reflection in it, along with some menu icons that I cannot make sense out of. It's a security system, pretty sophisticated, eh? No one would suspect there would be such a system in an apartment like this. The door is actually secured with hidden bars that can be controlled from here. And there are sensors programmed to detect living matter other than you and me. He goes on about the security measures and gadgets, but suddenly, I cannot find it in me to focus. I'm really hoping that he didn't do all this for my return, but it is the most obvious explanation. Dang, Max, you really prepared for me. Oh, the dedication! I take a deep breath, holding a paw up to signal I want to speak. It takes Max a brief moment to notice, but eventually he stops in the middle of his explanation. Max, I really appreciate your preparations. My throat feels closed up, and I swallow and chew on air to make it possible to continue speaking. I just want to... how do I put this? I just want to reiterate that this could be really dangerous for you. I want you to reconsider it. Sid. And I think some dog is following me and I have no idea what she wants. Sid! Sid, it's okay. I've always wanted to be able to finally help you. I promised you long ago that I would stand by your side even if the world turns against you. Dang, Max is best boy! And now, you need to let me do that, please. His eyes are warm, and I compose myself. I can't be weak. I need to be calm so I can make the best decisions for myself and Max. Or Max and myself. Alright, but I need to tell you about the Labrador I met today. She knows a lot about me. I'll start from the beginning. You know, I used the feather to get back to the island. I reappeared in some night market near DG Station. First thing I saw was this huge crowd of dogs all running around away from me, so I thought it was because they all witnessed my grand appearance or something. I don't even know if I appeared with a light or poof of smoke or something, but I'm pretty sure I appeared out of thin air. But it turned out there was a Labrador just causing a ruckus, so I sneaked away. Then the lab just appeared behind me. She said that she made a distraction on purpose because it would be inconvenient for me to be noticed. She even knows why I'm back on the island. It's very, very unnerving, even to me. Max nods his head solemnly. I might have made a mistake, but she gave me a wrist phone and I took it. I take it out of my pocket and I show it to Max. I haven't put it on yet. He takes it gingerly and examines it from every angle before waving a paw over the central watch face. I've never really looked at a wrist phone up close before, and take the opportunity to do so. The circular face, rather than being a screen itself, holds a light source where a hologram is projected from. The hologram functions like a screen of any other electronic device, but is larger, much larger, and can be put away at a simple touch. It kind of looks like a fan unfolding and folding back. I angle my body away gradually until I cannot see the contents of the screen. There's some sort of view angle limit, which works great for me. Sometimes, I might be typing or reading questionable material, but even if not, I don't want dogs to see it. Gotta love my priorities in this game. She told me to contact her with this. So, do you think I should? I'd probably do it anyway, even if Max doesn't agree with me. I'm not sure how dangerous it might be, and I don't want to compromise the safe house. Hello, and yes, nice doggos. She didn't mention my brother though. I just want to find out what she wants. Max is still holding the wrist phone, so I huddle close to him and read and use the menu.
I hesitantly touch a paw to the screen where it says Messages, and it opens a corresponding app as Max looks on. It's empty, so maybe there's a contact list? I scan the interface, but there's no back function or back button. I press the sides of the screen, first left, then right, but it is futile. Left. Right. How about tapping it? Okay, maybe sliding it up and down? Nothing? Max, you've been grinning at me for too long. A little help here. You can set up any gestures you want to return to the previous screen, but the default is a face. He taps on the wristband face, where the hologram is projected from. Oh. Alright, let's find this lab's contact info. Are you sure you want to get in touch with her? Do you trust her? Only as much as I trust a stranger, really. So no, I don't trust her that much, but there is a high enough possibility that she has information that could be useful to me. It's an uncertain situation, though, and I'm just guessing at the odds. It does seem oddly specific that she knows the main reason I'm back here. The risk may well outweigh the potential gains. Again with the words potential, possibility, uncertainty, I'm getting deja vu. So cold, calculating. Just like the arena training kicking back in. Information on the reason you decided to come back? I snap out of my thoughts as Max starts to speak again. I don't mean to pry, but I'm wondering. What was the reason? You noticed what I said, huh? Well, the truth is, one of the reasons I decided to come back now is to find out if my brother's alive. Your brother? June, when was it? Right. He disappeared after the last arena. Yeah, I just have this regret that I didn't even bother finding out what happened before I just up and left.
I know, right? This is not what I was expecting. I was thinking of something lighthearted. A summer with the Shiba Inu. Sounds like it'd be like a fun, cute summer vacation, but this is edgy.
I understand. I'll help you find out what happened. Wait, so this lab, she said she knows something about him? She was so certain about it, so while I have no idea of her intentions, she could either be a powerful ally or enemy. Either way, I suppose it's best to contact her so she won't blindside us if she's an enemy. Of course, I leave this up to you. You've taken me in, and I don't want her to follow me back here and jeopardize the place. Like you said, I agree that it's a good idea to contact her in case she comes here looking for you. But first, let's find her contact information on this phone. We go through the apps. They're only the essentials. Not in the contact book either, huh? He taps on the recent calls, and there is a single call history. Oh, right. He holds up a paw for a high five. Thanks, Max. Now, you do the honors. I tap on the call button, and while it rings, Max sets up the phone call to block our camera feed. I'm going to play it safe, and not let her get any hints of my surroundings and whereabouts just in case. Waiting.
Oh, cute! I like this. This is reminding me of Samurai Remnant.
Hey, good to see that you've made it somewhere safe.
Why did you want me to contact you?
Like I said, I want to help you.
And how exactly?
Well, as I said, you probably want to stay under the radar. An eye-catching Labrador like myself would be perfect for distracting anyone on your trail, no? I roll my eyes, making sure she can see my skepticism. While I agree that you are definitely eye-catching, from the corner of my eye I notice Max trying not to smirk widely. Oh, that is not what I meant. But that'll make it even more difficult to stay under radar if anyone on the outside makes a connection between you and me. So based on that, how really could you help me? That's what I was hoping you would tell me, Sid. What actions do you plan to execute? How can I help you achieve it? I still understand her real intentions, but she does seem sincere. I need to carefully consider what I say. Since she's offering her help, it wouldn't hurt to have someone do the riskier tasks in my place. Also, are you alone? Today Lee breaks the silence before I can formulate a sentence. She might have taken my slow response to indicate that silent correspondence with someone else.
Oh, no, I'm not alone. I'm alone. I'm not alone, I'll be honest.
No, I'm with a friend. An accomplice? I don't know why you have to put it that way, but I guess you could say that. He's a trustworthy companion helping me. I didn't expect to have to compete for the position of top hench dog. Well, as you mentioned, I want to find my brother. Before I tell you my plans, I want to know how you know about my brother. So you're saying you don't trust me because I have this piece of information? I revealed it so you would have the incentive to contact me. And I was right, wasn't I? She's so smug about successfully having manipulated my actions. Reluctantly praise her, make a quip about her smugness. Fine, fine. You're a good dog. I'm impressed you set me up and predicted my actions so thoroughly. Li grins. I imagined that it would be no easy task to get hold of the feather bearer, much less keep her attention. I had to rack my brain and do lots of research off the beaten path. Well, you've got my attention. But let's get to the point, shall we? How did you figure out the reason I came back to the island? Li chuckles. A little patience, please, Sid. The truth is, anyone smart enough could figure out that you'd be interested in finding out the fate of your brother. The arena archives are open to anyone that is patient enough to go through the hoops to get approved for access. It wasn't difficult to find online that your brother disappeared after the final arena, but I also confirmed it from the official records. Your infamous disappearance happened shortly after that, so I guessed that you would have regrets about it. Right. That is convincing, if not creepy. But like she said, the records of past arenas are available to public access. Any dog that tries hard enough could put the timeline together and figure it out. What worries me is her understanding of the way I think. That probably means she's researched a lot of other things about my past life. I'd really prefer her as an ally. For reals. So, here's my proposal. If you want more information, I have a lead on what you're seeking, but I'd rather not reveal any more over the call. Meet me at DG Station, the stall where I found you, tomorrow at noon. A lead? But with that, the call is terminated. That was sudden. Well, what matters is that she says that she has a lead. I'm gonna trust her for now. I'll go meet her tomorrow. Be careful. She does seem sincere, but I really don't know what's in it for her. Max, would you like to come with me? I would like to, but only if you're sure it's best for your plans. I don't want to burden you. Nonsense, you won't be a burden, I think. I'll trust her for now. And let her know about you. Of course, if she tries to threaten you in any way, that trust will be over. Sid. After that, we quickly plan out the transportation and prepare to sleep. Max insists that I take the bed while he sleeps in the living room, and after some protest, I accept. It's been a really, really long day. So strange that just this morning, I was still in K9 with my job having to work for a living. I just threw all that away, and soon enough, I'll find out if all that was worth it. I tucked the wrist phone away into a bag. If Li had somehow hacked its camera or mic, I'd rather not have it show more than what could be seen during our video call. Good night, Max. I hear his voice in the living room, which is the room next to mine. Sleep tight, Sid. And with that, I close my eyes, and sleep soon takes over me. One sleep after. In the morning, Max suggests that we go to lunch after the meeting with the labs, to which I agree. The lab, huh? She does have a name. Li, wasn't it? Like we agreed on, Max joins me as I head to the meeting with Li. Again, when I enter the transit station, I scan my pennant face down. I don't want more unwanted attention on my movements. If dogs see my full pennant face. That is, in addition to Li's totally unwanted attention. Okay, we made it. We emerge from underground at DG Station, which is in the central zone of Taipa. It's a really busy area, full of businesses and restaurants. The stall where Li accosted me yesterday isn't far from the station, and we get there a bit earlier than noon, which was our agreed-upon meeting time. I don't have much of an appetite, so Max orders ayu jelly with lemonade for both of us. Ooh, I like that stuff. That's tasty.
Shortly after, Li strolls down the lane. It's immediately noticeable such a large dog living on this island, where nothing was made to the scale of her size. I fight the urge to chuckle at the thought. I conveniently forgot that the same could be said about me and K9da. Those stairs are always hell to climb, not to mention that I could never reach anything on the shelves in stores. She spots and joins me at the table, the same time that Max gets back. Hi! Who's this? This is Max, my friend. He's helping me out. Ah, you must be the accomplice that was there during the phone call yesterday. Max gives her a distrustful look and just grunts in response. Li doesn't appear offended. Last night, I said that I have information. Well, for full disclosure, it's not completely true. What? I'm on alert, as the first thought that crosses my mind is that this is a trap. What she said on the phone was believable enough that I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt, but could she have just played me again? I mean, I said that I have a lead, but it's really just that, a lead. I can't make more sense out of it, but I think you could, Sid. Gah, what a prankster, this Labrador. I try to calm down, but something still doesn't seem right about this whole situation. There's nothing glaringly wrong, but maybe it's my ancestral instinct speaking. Logically speaking, hearing Li out is the best option I have right now. Okay, so this isn't a waste of time after all. Please, Sid, you couldn't be slightly less rude? Stand my ground. I'ma apologize, I'm sorry, I was being mean. What? It took me 4.32 seconds. That took some time. Wow. Thinking for 4 seconds is a lot, huh? Fish sticks, Sid. You've gone all soft. But I suppose I can apologize. I'm sorry. You've mentioned my rudeness when we were on the phone too. I should have taken that more seriously. I wasn't expecting you to remember that. Thanks. Heh. Most of the time, I'm pretty dense, but I occasionally notice when dogs are upset, I guess. That doesn't mean you're off the hook, Li. I'll decide how much more to trust you after you show me what you've done. What you have. I guess I can't gain your trust 100% like that, eh? Always pragmatic, just like your arena performances. She's probably laughing internally at how uncomfortable I look. I guess that's evident from my facial expression, huh? But she obliges me and takes out a thick envelope from her bag. She slides it towards me. I gingerly take out the contents. On the top of the stack is a blurred photo. It's printed on thick and glossy material. From the blurriness and low resolution of the picture, I can tell the camera that this was taken with was quite old, even by the technological standards from before I left the island. The dog that is the focal point of the picture has a stocky stature and a dark blue shirt on. His coat color is exactly the same as mine. It's him, alright. Chunwen. When was this taken? It's the last time he was ever seen. He was on the way to the final arena. I also managed to get my paws on his transit history. I sift through the contents of the envelope. Under the printed picture is a thick, stapled stack of what looks like a spreadsheet. The print is tiny, with rows and rows of dates so close to each other that I have to hold the paper up to my face to inspect it. Even with the cursory scan of information, I can tell that 2 stations appear in turn frequently. KH Station and NJ Station, huh? With an even closer look, I notice that they appear at 9 in the morning and 5 in the afternoon, respectively. 9 to 5? Is this some joke? At this point, Li interjects. It doesn't take any computer to see that there's a very clear pattern. Though I did feed the data through some simple algorithms to double-check if there were any anomalies I missed by K9 error. It's just NJ Station at 9 AM and KH Station at 5 PM. Every single day since the day after the last arena. Right. And the weirdest thing is that it's all exactly on the hour. The MRT hardware that captures the pennant scans, does it round up to the hour? Nope. It's supposed to capture the exact millisecond. Or some fraction of the second. It's pretty precise.
is it. It's an amazing lead, given that it's to be believed.
And how did I find this game? It was a recommendation from Steam. Steam was like, yes, this looks like something you'd be into, Misaki. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get it. It's clearly a manipulated log, and I can't imagine for what other reason than to be noticed and perhaps even to send a message.
This is great, Chueli. Thanks. I stack the papers together tidily and insert them back into the envelope. Can I take this? Yes, certainly. Though for security reasons, I'm not giving you the digital copies. That's all you're getting. That's fair. Wouldn't want to a leak or something.
How did you get this information?
I tracked down the source in the Massive Rapid Transit Corp. The source was able to download these files for me, as they are not highly classified. Anyone who has basic customer service tier access could get these logs. However, the pattern might indicate that your brother is able to hack or manipulate the transaction logs, which could potentially draw the attention of the Massive Rapid Transit Corp. Of course, I convinced the source to keep quiet about this discovery for now.
Heh, I wouldn't put it past him to have hacked his pendant or transit entry gates to automatically deduct the... Wait. I take out the spreadsheet again and look at the balance column. Silly me, now that I think about it, this might be a clue. Since the beginning of the log, the balance has only been going down linearly, as far as I can tell. A quick graph could confirm that. And on the very first day, the balance was a hefty sum, more than enough to cover expenses for not only transit, but all aspects of a dog's life on the island.
Where did he get these tags? Actually, the answer seems obvious. He probably was able to acquire all the currency he desires, somehow. Ah yes, the balances. Quite the wealthy one, your brother. I did a quick visualization of the data, and it is straight line going down. The fares are deducted each day, every single day. I didn't notice any anomalies other than the huge sum of tags that he could afford to load as balance. That was the extent that I could observe. You know your brother better than anyone, so I thought that you could make more sense out of it than I could. Sure, I'll examine it closer at home. Don't feel comfortable doing that here in the open.
I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed, Chueli. Thank you for this. Chueli's scary. Look at her getting all this information on me and my bro.
I pack up the files and rise to leave. Max follows suit and stands. Despite having said nothing during the whole exchange, he seems to be thinking hard. Wait a moment. You don't want to plan our next steps?
Well, I was thinking I could tell you what I decide after I browse through these.
Oh, come on. And here I was thinking we'd be collaborating as equals. Look, I'm grateful for the information. I really appreciate her efforts and investment in this quest, but I don't want her doing more than necessary and drawing attention. That is the highest priority. I prefer you don't do anything rash while investigating, and only gather information from me after I decide what would be helpful. You're not hearing me. I've already planned my next step, and I'm not going to ask for your permission to carry it out. Fish sticks, what a stubborn dog! Right, what is your next step then? I was thinking I could try to acquire security footage from those two stations at 9 AM and 5 PM. Don't you think that would be valuable?
Girl, how are you gonna get that? I guess I can hear her out.
That would be valuable, I agree.
But how do you plan on doing that?
I imagine that security footage requires high clearance, so I don't want you to do something that draws too much attention, you hear? Don't worry. If I get caught, I'll take all the blame. I'll say that I'm working independently and you will not be implicated. You're willing to take the risk all by yourself for this?
But why? What's in it for you?
I really do have your best intentions at heart. I've given you all this and you still believe me, do you?
Girl, you're sus, I'm sorry. So you're coming on a little too strong.
She sighs, but seems to compose herself quickly. It's alright, never mind what I said. But I'll be as careful as I can, for you.
I feel a bit guilty. Perhaps I was being too harsh. And what does she mean for me? I don't even know her.
Just let me know whatever steps you take, alright? And report all of your progress to me. Will do, will do. She rises and steps away from the table, signaling the end of the meeting. Catch you next time, Sheebs. She nods to me and Max. Later. See you, lab. Chie-Li nods, and without another word, sweeps past us and away into the depths of the market. Waiting until she is out of sight, Max and I leave the stall as well. My bag feels heavy with the envelope I now have, both literally and figuratively, with all the possibilities that it brings. Much as I want to start a closer investigation of the matter right this instant, I'll deal with this later tonight. Max and I are going to lunch. Present date, Island Year 224. I never thought I'd see Hei Fen Hong again. Maybe really, I just avoided her precisely so I wouldn't see her again, given the way things ended between us. Oh, are we exes? The thought keeps echoing in my head. Though I struggle to stop it, it just won't go away. Maybe it's making up for all the years that I haven't had to deal with this issue. Given the way things ended, nothing could have changed about it. There's absolutely nothing I could have said to change things. I have nothing to say now either. Island Year 208, Arena 9, Day 1. I shift my weight around, trying to get comfortable. Once I find a position that feels right, I hold myself still. My eyes are closed, and I try to relax. It's not a surprise when I feel cold, gurgling moisture under my paws, but I flinch anyway. Thick freezing gel rises around me, and I take deep breaths. My mask is on properly, and I'm breathing. We will win this arena together. I'll do everything I can. I'll do anything so that we can stay together forever. Island Year 208, Arena 9, Day 5. I clamber up the narrow steps, teeth firmly gripping my loot, which is wrapped in a piece of cloth. I almost slip as one of the steps shifts under me, and I scrabble with my claws, trying to get a foothold in the dirt. The steps are actually roughly cut rocks that some dog had shoved into the dirt of the mountainside. It's an efficient use of natural resources, but sadly not as safe as urban constructs. Though since I'm not risking my real life, it shouldn't be too critical. Faster. I must get back to her faster. Facing the final step, I sling my precious cargo up before hoisting myself up to a clearing. A bit further in, hidden behind the overgrowth, is my secret hideout. I tread carefully so that it wouldn't disrupt the illusion that no dogs had been around here. I tisk 3 times, just so my faction would know that I'm not an intruder. There is no response, which is normal. I near a large thick tangle of branches and leaves. To the unsuspecting dog, there is nothing here. However, I move aside a section of the branches, revealing a small hole that I duck into. Inside, a Shiba Inu comes and sniffs me, and I stand still, allowing him to tug the package from my teeth. I watch him unravel the package and wait while he inspects, prods, and sniffs its contents. Finally, he is done and gives a nod. Ooh, hello. Good news, Fanshu. Those are the supplies I got. Well, never mind, Fanshu. Hei Fen isn't here, so I must hurry to her. I scoop up the entire bag, not wanting for Fanshu's response. Hastening further inside our plant-enshrouded compound, I encroach a blanket-covered figure laying on a bed of carefully layered leaves. I move beside her, careful not to jostle her, and nudge her cheek with my nose. Hey Fen. The pale Shiba Inu looks up at me groggily. Did you rest well? You still look... I'm much better, really. But I'm glad you got back safe. I show her the supplies, one of them a bottle of wound-treating solution. Here, show me your paw. It's much better now, like I said. She pulls her paw out from under the blanket and shows it to me. As she said, the wound is healed drastically. That doesn't mean you don't need the best care, Hei Fen. We can't have anything go wrong at this stage. I soak a clean cloth with the wound-treating solution and take her paw gently. Sid, wait! She jerks her paw away, and I'm left holding the cloth over thin air. What's wrong? I just can't justify using something like this right now. Fanshu didn't tell you, but he got a nasty scratch on my trap yesterday during his rounds. He really needs it more than me. I try to take her paw again. You looked fine when I came in, and there's more than enough to spare. No, I said I don't want it. I stare at her in stunned silence, her shout ringing in my ears. Finally, I gather myself and stand up. Alright, I'll go help Fanshu with his injury. But, can we talk after I'm back? Suit yourself. I march off, my shoulders stiff, to stop myself from shaking. I just spent 2 days circling the enemy faction's perimeters, waiting to raid their medical supplies. Of course, I'd also gathered a lot of intel on their strategies and movement patterns. After I talked things out with Heifen, I should call a faction meeting to discuss our plan of attack based on my new information. What is this? I do like how intense this is. Dang, I didn't realize Heifen and I had such a history. Oh my bad, we were comrades at one point, and I was willing to risk my life to get her some medical supplies. Dang. Hey, Fanshu. Hey Sid, how's Heifen? Her wound is healed quite well, and she insisted that I use this on you instead. What, me? I don't need that, I'm not hurt. Heifen said that you got injured during your rounds. On the way in, I hadn't noticed him acting like he was injured, but now that I'm standing closer to him, I can see that he's holding his body at an angle. It seems like he's trying to only show me the right side of his torso to me. Turn your other side around. Really, I'm fine. I smirk and dash around him, pulling back his shirt. As Heifen had said, I could see a long gash on the left side of his body. The shirt was slightly bloody as well on that side, an easy giveaway, which explains why he was angling it away from me. It's just good practice to not let weaknesses be easily accessed by another dog, even if we're teammates. I hadn't thought Fanshu to be particularly smart or tactical. Maybe it was just his instinct. Alright, come on, come now. Don't want this solution drying out and going to waste. I'm fine, but I'm only doing this since Heifen said so. Finally, Fanshu stands still and allows me to treat his wound. Heh, don't be so prideful. Heifen gave this up so you could stay alive. I was going to stay alive anyway. He mumbled before trailing off. At least, that's what I think I heard. Ha. I wouldn't be so sure if I were you. Well, I'm not going to say that out loud, of course. On top of that not seeming too bright, I've always considered Fanshu to be disposable when we joined this faction. He surprised me by being one of the last of us remaining. What is this drama? Endure and survive, huh? But once we get rid of that last rival faction, he's going down. That is, if he isn't eliminated during the fight anyway. He was a pawn from the start. What? I never told Heifen those plans directly, but I thought she would have guessed. And she will know how I intend to get rid of Fanshu after we have our talk. What's this drama? Sometime later. In the end, I didn't have the chance to tell Heifen of my plan. I asked her if she'd like to join me on my patrol round so we could talk things over in private away from Fanshu. While Heifen's wound was mostly healed, as she had shown me, she said that she didn't feel well enough to be walking outside, which is fair. I still can't believe she didn't even thank me after all the days I spent getting the medical supplies for her. I get it, she wants us all to survive. I knew she wasn't happy with my decision to leave our base for so long on her account. It was a risky move. What if I'd gotten caught? It was selfish of me. Gah! No, stop it, Sid. You did the right thing to work towards your goal. No, it's for the promise between Heifen and me. We promised we both progress to higher arena brackets so we can stay together. What happened to us? We were so close. I'm so sorry, Heifen, for calling you a brat earlier. I climbed down a muddy slope, gripping a thick bramble to steady myself. It's the last leg of my patrol. I'll head back soon. Sometime later, scrutinizing the forest and foot of the hill like I do any other patrol round, I spot some movement from the corner of my eye. I quickly flatten myself, trying to get closer to the sound while finding some taller plants for better cover. Thanks to being in the higher ground, I now have a good vantage point. Oh, it's another doggo. Another doggo! 3 Shiba Inus are making their way up the hill that I had climbed earlier in the day. They approach the exact stone steps that lead towards my faction's base. Oh no, our faction's not in good shape, and if Heifen doesn't even feel well enough to walk. I eye the intruders in my hiding spot until they are blocked by some trees. I then emerge, keeping my distance so they don't detect me, while frantically trying to keep them in sight. Those three are all that they have remaining since I eliminated one when I raided their camp. Zenai, Jipai, and Moachi. Zenai is the strongest of the bunch. She's really fast, and earlier in the arena, I saw that she packs a mean bite. I wouldn't wish that upon any dog. Jipai is more like me, less brawn, more wit. I recall seeing him planning a lot while I was near their camp. Also, I heard he plotted the siege on one of the large factions, which eliminated most of them. Moachi, he's more of a mystery. He seems pretty quiet and does what he's told. Probably the disposable Fanshu on their team. And come to think of it, he looks quite like IU, but without that red tint in his fur. For some reason, I feel that if it weren't for the circumstances, I'd like to know him better before having to eliminate him, see if he's really just a meek follower or a schemer like me. But that's impossible now. I'm taking him down along with Zenai and Jipai. I wait for the group to get further away before I tell them once more. They really forced my paw. Maybe I should have called a meeting with Heifen and Fanshu before going on patrol, but I hadn't noticed any signs the enemy team were planning a move. What did I miss? I watched them so carefully. No time to think about that now. I need to make sure Heifen is safe.
I understand why the Labrador is so into our MC Sid now. I thought it was strange how she was looking at old arena videos, but if this is what the arena things were like, I would binge this too. This is fun, this is dramatic. I press downhill towards our base, as the other faction is almost there. They wouldn't know exactly where it is, right? Only the approximate location, right? My heart sinks as I trot around the entrance, quickly find the hollow covered by undergrowth. Fish sticks! How did they find it so quickly? No, that's not right. They didn't find it. They must have known. It must have been Olen, a previous member of my faction. She was eliminated while on her patrol nearby. Since nothing happened after her elimination, I assumed she didn't reveal anything. Perhaps I did press Olen for information. It's just that they waited till now to take action. If only I could sneak in to warn Heifen. Unfortunately, there's only the one entrance to our base. We made sure of that. It would take too much time for me to dig the tunnel now, given the circumstances, and it would make too much noise. The only course of action is to head in after them. I peek in and seeing that the coast is clear, wiggle my way inside. The front area, which I was previously stalked by Fanshu on sentry duty, is deserted. There is muffled talking coming from where Heifen was resting. I hasten up to it, peeking through the hole in the foliage. The enemy faction is tying up Heifen and Fanshu. It takes a painful amount of willpower not to charge in right then, but I remind myself that brawn is not my advantage. I need to be patient and suss out the situation. There's a fine balance between being too cautious or risking a move to secure my faction safely. If I succeeded in freeing them, they'll be able to help me, but if I fail, I'll be failing my promise to Heifen. It is strange that my faction was caught so quickly and easily, given I entered our base only shortly after them. Stupid Fanshu, what was he doing? As a sentry, did he even put up resistance? Suddenly, one of the enemy faction barks out loud. Sid, you're there, aren't you? I would have just turned tail and left, if not for Heifen being tied up. Come on now. If you don't show yourself in 5 seconds, I'm going to eliminate your whole team. I have them here, as you clearly see. I grudgingly reveal myself. The second I do, Zenai advances towards me, pushing the tied-up Heifen and Fanshu. The other enemies, Jipai and Moachi, follow suit, approaching me. Let them go! I surrender! You can eliminate me! That's not how it works, Sid. Zenai sneers. I've heard a lot about how you make this kind of bluff, and somehow end up eliminating a bunch of dogs. You're going to walk in front here and make no sudden movement.
I try to glance at Heifen without being too obvious. She didn't seem worse for wear, thank goodness. It is a bad choice I'm making, but I sit down in the middle of the cave, a little distance away from Zenai, and offer my front paws. Tie me up and let the others go. Once they're safe, eliminate me as you wish. My hope is that they rally and come to save me, which is a riskier plan than what I usually tolerate. I prefer to be in control and not leave outcomes valuable to other dogs' actions. However, at this stage, I trust Heifen to get us out of here. Even though we had a bit of a rough spot, this seems to be the only strategy that doesn't completely suck. Zenai interrupts my scheming. That would be a really good deal, had your faction not already offered it. Huh? What are you talking about? Your life for theirs. That's what they agreed to. What? No way, you're bluffing. Nope, you think we just waltz up here without that deal secured? Heifen, Fanshu. They both agreed to it before we came. Heifen, I thought we were ride or die. Okay, you're a brat again to me. Yep, they went behind your back, if that's what you're having difficulty grasping. No, this isn't true. We need to renegotiate. Let me and Heifen go. He's telling the truth. Fanshu! I knew it. You're planning to off me at some point. But you just said only confirms it. I was planning on coming back for you, Fanshu. Everything is unraveling. What should I do? I turned tail and dashed towards the entrance. Even if they made this deal, they'd have to catch me first. But they anticipated my move to escape. Jipai, who is close to the door, runs towards me and knocks me flying. Ouch! Winded, I see Fanshu shake loose his bindings, and so does Heifen. So, it was true they just pretended to be caught. I'll fend for myself and ask questions later. I can't be eliminated. I leap back on my feet, just in time to see Jipai lunging towards me. Get her! The filthy white dot! I'm stunned for a moment, almost leaving me with no time to react to my immediate threats. I sidestep Jipai and run towards Heifen. What did you say? You heard what I said. You're a white dot, and white dots must be eliminated. Ugh. From the corner of my eye, I see the third enemy, Mochi, charging into Zenai, sending her flying. Mochi, you're betraying us? I take the chance to barrel towards the cave exit. However, Jipai guards the exit, and menacingly advances on me. Zenai bounds up to Mochi, swiping at him. The dog, Mochi. He created a diversion for me. I owe him one. I'll ally with him should the chance arise. I feint a swipe at Jipai. Cautiously he dodges. Now's my chance. I dash out into the clearing and race downhill, my claws tearing into the stone steps. Now in the forest, I glance back and see all of them fast on my tail. It is Fanshu that gets me, biting hard on my tail and throwing me onto the ground. I think I should have gotten rid of him earlier. You were disillusioned all along. It's Heifen and me that will proceed to the next arena together. Heifen, how dare you? How dare you make an alliance with both me and him? You! A snarl escapes me, and I take a huge swipe at him. It rips through his eye, and I'm able to pin him down. Ow? It would be so easy to eliminate him by crushing his pendant at this moment, but rage seems to be speaking, taking over my mind. Against all judgment, I sleep again in his fallen form. Crimson splatters all over me. Dang, I'm a savage. Whatever. It's all a simulated reality anyway. I have no time left to spare, and leave him there, continuing my frantic escape outside down the hill. Sometime later. Ooh, hello, how's the dog game? Whoa, this game is intense. Right now, I'm in a death match. I finally lost them. Completely betrayed by my own faction, I managed to find a hiding place. It's a miracle I wasn't hurt much, even though there were so many dogs against me. In our next encounter, I discovered that they are wary of me. The reason is that, while eliminated dogs usually disappear, Fanshu did not. He just lay there, as if dead. which is a preposterous reason to fear me, because everyone knows that this is just an emulated version of reality. Yeah, that's definitely just an emulated version of reality, and I did not just murder a dude. An emulated version created so that reality can be relocated amongst the dogs of the island. This allocation is based on ranking, and therefore how good a dog is. It could be said that the ranking based on these arenas maintains the social order, and it is in my best interest to ensure that I have the highest ranking possible. I will fight tooth and claw for it, because only then can I gain freedom from my white spot status. I learned that Mochi has the same idea. The reason that he defended me was because he, too, is the white dot. We ally together and eliminate the rest of them. He says I saved his life, which I don't really understand, but maybe I unknowingly eliminated someone that would have eliminated him. These arena fights get messy. It makes sense if I don't remember the specific incident, so I don't press the issue. He proposes that I eliminate him, to which I agree. Dang! So we defeated everyone, and in the end, he let me take him out so then I could be the champion. Wow. Present day, island year 224. Now thinking back, the nights after that arena, I was plagued with nightmares. Fanshu's dead body in the real world, being taken out on a stretcher. Of course, as per the rules of the arena, I got a hefty ranking raise as the winner. I was showered with attention and glory by the press, being one of the few dogs to be the winner of consecutive arenas. Sometimes during my nightmares, I thought, if this is the reality that I am being allocated, do I really want it? My feelings for Heifen were the reason for all of my actions in the arena, yet I lost it all. The rumors that I'm a white dot were neither confirmed nor denied. Any qualms dogs had about that aspect of me were overshadowed by fear of my new ranking. White dot is simply a term that refers to dogs born with abnormal dots on their fur. The reason I technically am one is that I have some white dots on my back where the fur isn't fully the same color. Honestly, I don't understand what the big deal is, although I carefully hide the fact and make sure that my clothing covers the dots. It's just one of those absurd ways Shiba Inus love to look down on one another, apart from the arena rankings. Several months after that arena, I'd pushed aside the memories and barely thought or felt about it anymore. I hypnotized myself into thinking that it was for the best, and the self-hypnosis worked. There was the next arena to look forward to after all, and I was not going to break my winning streak. I vowed to stand at the end of the final arena and look down on all the island as a new bearer of the Feather of Truth. That was 16 years ago. I find out to think about Arena 9, but the truth is, deep in my mind, every single detail I remember vividly. The cave where Heifen and I promised to come out of the arena together. The forest where I struck down so many dogs. I hunted down every single one of them. I was utterly manipulated by Heifen. That is what I came to believe. But whenever I tried to figure out how I didn't see any warning signs, my mind just comes up with the explanation that her promise to me really had been genuine. Be it circumstance or just karma, I hated her, yet still loved her. Gosh darn it! What is this drama with Heifen? And that was 16 years ago. So why am I back here? In this very same forest? Oh dog, the sounds, the smells. I can't logically believe it, but my instincts are telling me that this is the one and the same forest where Arena 9 was set in. What do I do? Looking or lacking any real alternative, I walk forward aimlessly. The foliage is soft against my paw pads. Is this a horror game? It would make sense that Heifen is somewhere in this arena as well, since she was the one that re-challenged me. But are any of the other contestants? Sometime later, I scanned my surroundings. I had made my way to higher ground so that I could figure out where I am in the arena. I can see a stream flowing through the forest. I recall that Max's camp was downstream while my camp was upstream. If only I could see more of that stream. The trees are blocking where it flows beyond a certain point. It's hard to recognize specific parts of the forest. Everything is like a blur of green. But it's okay. It won't matter whether I reach my camp or Max's camp first. Whatever this arena wants of me, I'm sure I can deal with it. Plus, I'm much more experienced now. Giving myself a pep talk, or pep talks, I carry on. My heart rate doesn't seem to be slowing down despite my efforts to cheer myself up. One sleep later, year 224, Arena 9, Day 2. Wrestle. I'm started awake, ears twitching in every direction to listen. It's quiet. Maybe just the wind. My nerves have not calmed despite my best efforts. I don't know how I got so good at the arenas. Clearly, I am out of practice. The more nervous you are, the more you care, the worse you do. Something collides into me from the side. I'm thrown into the air, flying in an arc almost in slow motion. In the corner of my eye, I see... Olen? I steady myself, eyeing Olen warily, afraid she'll attack me again. But Olen ignores me and scrambles away. Then from the trees burst two dogs, one after another. Uh-oh. They go straight for Olen, who barks and races off. But the pursuers are faster and pounce clean on her. I try to slink away, but I can't help looking at Olen dissolving. She's gone. And I need to get out of here. The attackers glance in my direction and I flinch. Oh no, isn't that Jipai and Zenai? Jipai stares at me for a split second more, as if wanting to say something. Then he dashes off. Zenai follows suit. What is going on? Oh, they plotting against me. Instead of heading straight in the direction of the stream near my faction's base camp, I take a detour. Since Jipai had been heading in that direction as well, he could set up an ambush. It'll take me longer to get to the base camp due to this detour, but I don't want to risk facing and fighting Jipai right now. It's been nagging at me for a while now. How exactly does this arena work? As I can see, dogs are still to be eliminated, as I saw Jipai do to Olen. But was that a reenactment of the past or what? In Arena 9, Olen was in my faction and was eliminated when she was tracking down Max's faction. That much I know. But I wasn't there to see it, so I don't know if that's exactly what happened. I didn't even know exactly which day she was eliminated because we only became certain after several days had passed and she hadn't returned. I remember thinking she might have been the one that leaked our hideout location. Jipai could have gotten that information. Regardless of what they did in the past, and what if what I saw now was the same as the past, the fact that those two dogs are here, could that mean that the real Jipai and Olen are in this challenge too? Present day, Island Year 224, Arena 9, Day 3. It's strange that I haven't seen the other dogs since then. If dogs like Jipai and Olen are participating in this arena challenge, re-challenge, then maybe it's dogs that opt in that are here? That would explain why I haven't seen any other dogs. Or maybe that they were already eliminated. But since I haven't done any eliminating, who else could have eliminated so many dogs? No, not Hafen, that's for sure. The landscape turns more familiar as I near the stream I'd seen during the day, or the first day. I patrolled this area many times before. This was the outskirts of my faction's patrol route. Muscle memory guides me as I make my way uphill. It gets more and more difficult to suppress the memories of what had happened in Arena 9. I want to turn tail and run, but self-preservation keeps me from doing anything rash. I want to get this arena over with. To think that I had left my arena days in the past for good. After that disaster with Heifen and Fanshu backstabbing me, I found Zenai and Jipai a couple days later. I eliminated them, and it felt so good. No, Sid, stop that. I might have enjoyed the thrill of the competition at the time, but I have changed. I left and I went to K9da. I've become a kinder dog. I wonder what Heifen was eliminated back then. I wonder how Heifen was eliminated back then. It was either Zenai or Jipai that did it, before Max and I found them. And it couldn't have been Fanshu because... Never mind. I wonder, if it had been me and Heifen left, could I have dealt her the final blow? How would I have reacted emotionally if I had to face her one-on-one? Wrong as it sounds, I'm secretly grateful that Zenai and Jipai saved me the trouble of dealing with Heifen again. I near the cave slowly slowing my pace to a crawl as I try not to make any sound. There it is. The cave entrance, so familiar to me, yet so eerie to see again. I have a strange urge to go inside, as if it were a museum that stored my memories in a pristine state before everything went to pieces. But I shake my head, tearing my eyes away. I circle around to the side to find a hiding place, listening carefully in case anyone comes. I should be careful. I really don't think a re-challenge is supposed to make contestants friendlier towards me than the first time around. Several hours later, I shift around in my hiding place. It's been quiet since I started camping out. I guess if there's no activity by tomorrow, I'll just go inside the cave. Year 224, Arena 9, Day 4. I jolt upright. What? I fell asleep? Spit it out, Fanshu. Fanshu? I poke my head out as much as I can. It is him. I swipe at him, red erupt. It's all simulation anyway, it's fake. A lifeless body taken away on a stretcher. Dogs muttering as we exit the Uri Simulation Center. She's a killer. She'll kill you in the arenas. Better not be in the same bracket as her. And did you hear? She's a white dot. One of the contestants in that Arena 9 says she saw it. Shh. Don't want to get killed. It's Fanshu. Moving, talking. How is he here? What is this? Could he still be alive? Or can the dead participate in arenas? Tell me now, you hear? I try to get a closer look at who Fanshu is talking to, but they are shrouded by the foliage of the cave entrance. No! It's all I can do to stop myself from screaming. The larger dog swipes Fanshu, and Fanshu falls, yelping. Fanshu shields his side from me as I try to offer him the healing solution that Heifen rejected. Your faction has been nothing but trouble. Why should I believe you? I'm serious, Sid's not here. She eliminated Fen Yuan, I'm sure of it. No, you're wrong. Heifen and I did that. Oh. Wait, what? I did eliminate that dog, Fen Yuan, in the past. But I didn't eliminate any dogs this time. I'll wait then, though I swear it was Sid. I know what you mean. I thought Sid was in our faction, but Heifen says it's just my mind playing tricks. And for some reason, I heard about her raiding your faction for medical supplies. But she's not working with us. We do have some supplies that are valuable, but I don't recall anyone trying to steal them. But since you know about those supplies, you're not convincing me that Sid's not working with you. The dog stomps, and Fanshu flinches. There's something weird about Sid. I keep thinking I've seen her when I haven't. I'm telling the truth, she hasn't been here. Now that you mention it, I do recall seeing her some days ago, but I must have been imagining it too. That would mean she was in two places at once. Doesn't make sense, you're right. Fine then. Then what do you make of me coming all this way to tell me? I propose that we team up. Ha, are you kidding me? The dog that Fanshu is talking to kicks him. Fanshu whines, and the other dog moves, and finally I can see it. That's the Nai! Serious, we want to find Sid and eliminate her. Whether Fanshu's alive or dead, I still need to make sure I survive this. And why do we need to team up for that? You've heard how she's ranked in the past, no? Well, I know she's a threat, but so am I. I don't disagree, but Heifen said that she knew Sid before this arena. Sid's gotten to the top spot in every single arena she's ever been in. I didn't know that. Well, if Heifen is so worried about Sid, why didn't she go find Sid herself? Like I said, Sid's too dangerous. But here's a proposal. Sid's a white dot, and Heifen will be the bait. Now, that makes a lot of sense. I shrink instinctively, my face burning red with embarrassment, even though I don't think they can see me. Why don't they just let me live? Heifen will be back soon, and we'll discuss the details if you stick around. And let myself be in 2 versus 1 situation? No thanks. Fine, I'll tell you the plan, and you get your faction to follow it. You and your faction come here tomorrow at noon. The entrance to our cave is here. Wait for Sid to show up, and then pretend to capture me and Heifen. Alright, it's a deal.
She rises and heads off downhill. Fanshu pushes back aside the brambles hiding the cave and disappears within. What a lot of trouble. Sometime later, I'm still camping in the same spot when I hear some steps approaching from the stone path. It's her! I watch as she disappears into the cave. Are they going to set up the ambush? It's an ambush that I remember very clearly from my past Arena 9. I fell for that collar, leash, and clasp. I don't know what they're thinking, though. I definitely wouldn't fall for it this time around. Feeling silly, but having no better course of action, I continue to camp outside. Sometime later. Around midday, the two dogs emerge. Heifen, looking agitated, paces around the clearing. Fanshu stands near the cave exit, eating something. Everything is in place. But where on earth is Sid?
Don't worry, once we have the other faction's help, we can find her.
Alright. Heifen whips around and glares at Fanshu. Fanshu, forget that deal. When Zen Knight's faction comes here, we're going to eliminate them.
Wait, but you just said yesterday.
The plans changed, Fanshu. Wait, did she not betray me then? What? I have an emotional roller coaster with her. Her expression softens as she approaches him. I'm sorry. It's been so long since I've seen you. Why am I speaking like this to you? She shakes her head. When Zenai and company arrive, we're going to catch and eliminate them.
But it's 3 versus 2. Are we gonna be okay?
Heifen touches Fanshu's face with a paw. Look, Fanshu, I'm no longer the same dog, you know. I'll take care of it. Sometime later. Muffled voices catch my attention, and as they grow louder, I am not surprised to recognize them as belonging to Zennai, Jipai, and Mochi. Instinctively, I tense and scan for places to run. Wait, relax, just wait. Sure, there are safer places for me to be right now, but I need to stay put and see what happens. The trio approached the cave from the stone steps, like how I had witnessed in the past. They prod around the entrance and lift away the foliage hiding it. What do I do now? If it all goes according to Heifen's plan, then those 3 will be eliminated. And then what? Heifen's trying to find me. That I heard from Fanshu and Zen Nai's conversation. So should I bother sticking around and see what happens? Right now, all those 5 dogs are occupied. It's my opportunity to set up an ambush. Fittingly, a good location to do that would be the forest clearing where I first eliminated Fanshu. What do I do? Ooh! Okay, in this case, I'm gonna save, because I like both options equally. I want to observe their actions, though. I'm gonna be nosy. I inch into the cave, albeit keeping much quieter than the enemy trio had. I don't plan to alert the dogs of my presence, especially knowing that Heifen and Fanshu are ambushing the enemy faction. It's strangely quiet. The entry tunnel of the cave reminds me of the times I was checked by Fanshu and Sentry. I'm sorry, Fanshu. I nearly get knocked over by the dog that barrels outside. Heifen and Fanshu both dash out from another cavern on the heels of the first dog. I start preparing to flee outside as well. Heifen glances in my direction, and we make eye contact. Max! The dog doesn't respond. That means he's an NPC. I run. On the forest path, Heifen and Fanshu corner me. Hey, Fanshu. Are we in the same faction? You're not following the plan.
Yes, we are in the same faction, but...
How dare you? Heifen lunges at me. You're a monster! No, what are you talking about? He's not even real. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Gotcha!
Max or Mochi, as he was called at the time, jumps on Heifen.
I pounce on Fanshu while Heifen is distracted. Since I already know that Fanshu has a wound in his side, I immediately swipe at it, giving the swing all that I've got. He falls immediately, howling. Heifen strikes Mochi. No, Max! Sorry, I couldn't save you this time around, old friend. But I don't think you're real here. Heifen turns, starting when she sees Fanshu in pain. I don't make a move to eliminate Fanshu while he's down, instead standing still and facing Heifen. Look, I didn't mean to kill him in the past. What's the point of telling me this after all these years after? You can't change the fact that you killed him. I'm not denying that. Who did you kill? Heifen and I both ignore him. I like that. I'm not naive enough to think that if you don't kill him now, that he'd be alive again. Who knows, maybe the feather can revive dead dogs. I haven't tried, but to be honest with myself, I doubt it. But I told you that if you lose this arena, the feather goes to me, remember? Why don't you eliminate him now? I need to have every edge over Heifen, plus sparing him now isn't going to undo his death. I'm afraid that I'll accidentally kill him again, to be honest. I need to have every edge over Heifen, plus sparing him now isn't going to undo his death. I walk up to Fanshu's lying figure and feel up his torso for the telltale shape of a pendant. Once found tucked inside the left of his shirt, I push down on it. Ha! Good riddance. As his body starts dissolving, I swipe at the particles, mimicking the past arena where I completely lost my mind in anger. Deep down, I know it's unnecessary, cruel even. To put it lighter, I seem like a puppy with a tantrum. At least his arena body's dissolving properly this time. Heifen just watches me with a strange expression. It seems tinged with sorrow, but most likely it's disgust. You know, a part of me wanted to believe that you didn't kill Fanshu on purpose, but... She ducks her head as if to prevent herself from saying more. It was a complete accident, but no one listened to me when I said so, so this has been taken as a truth, that I'm a ruthless arena killer. If you say something horrible, so horrible about a dog again and again, the dog might just believe it. If she and the public wanted that truth so badly, well, guess what? That made it become true. Ugh! Even though I was the one that re-challenged, I can't even look at you. I can't stand you. Then without warning, she dashes off. Without a second thought, I give chase, my claws kicking up the dirt. I had always been faster than her and catch up with her within 10 meters. Ooh! Options! Do I be full violent or only semi-violent? I'm gonna bite her. Flanking her, I try to bite her, but I miss. No, I missed! I pounce again, and this time I bite down on her neck and drag her forward. The bite isn't hard enough to draw blood. Any harder, and it would be against arena rules. Participants get one broadcast warning for using extreme violence, and on the second offense, one was considered eliminated on the spot. Of course, that prevents brawn from being the major deciding factor in the rankings, which the Ari designed deliberately. From experience, it's hardwired in me not to bite deeply. You've never had to fight in the real world, have you? It's not even about brute force, like I'd always believed, especially when you try to play wrestle with dogs twice your size. It's about being able to let go of rationality. Doing what the other wouldn't expect. You don't know how I've changed, and probably are basing your expectations on how I acted in the past. It's so damn easy to eliminate you. I'm just ranting at the moment, I'm aware. I can't stop it. The misunderstanding festering over 15 years just overflowing, spilling out of me. Heifen is struggling against me and is putting up a good effort too. I don't have time to waste. Ooh! Options! You know, I like this one too. I'm gonna ask her about the truth. I'm gonna ask her about her true opinion on me. Girl, Hey, Fen. Can I ask you a question? Seat yourself. She struggles against me, but I push her down firmly. She shrugs, as if to show that she has no chance but to humor me. Or no choice but to humor me. That's what I imagine anyway. I've always tended to interpret her behavior in my own, perhaps selfish way. Well, my question is, did you really think I was a cold-blooded killer for all these years? Of all the things to ask, could it be something less obvious? It's so like you to obsess over how other dogs view you. Look, that's how I used to be. I've lived much more, I've grown. But as I protest, I can see now to her I haven't changed. I just thought you'd realize it was a misunderstanding. I guess I shouldn't have been so optimistic to think you'll let go of your completely wrong opinion so easily. I lean over her. It's time to end this. She looks up to me to meet my eyes, but she doesn't resist. She can feel in my face that my mind is made. She's resigned to the reality that I will eliminate her right here and right now. Finding the pendant under her shirt, I press down on it. I'm back in this body. So tired of this body, cumbersome and heavy. My body's so heavy and leaning on another dog, I can barely make out that it's Max. Thanks for keeping me safe, Moachi. Max rests me in his bed, and I can only sink into the sheets, lacking the strength to pull them up higher to my chin. Sometime later, I meet with Tueli in the night market again. She says that she's gathered more information about my brother. Last time we spoke, she said that she would try to dig up some security camera footage. I wonder if her tip is about that. I've also tried to investigating on my own, but to no avail. I went to check out the two stations that Junwen had rigged his MRT transaction records to show, day after day, an NJ station and KH station. I wonder if, instead of having rigged the records, he really did live in one of those areas after I left the island. But the transaction timestamps are caninely impossible. No dog could physically scan its pendant at the MRT gates consistently down to the millisecond. Regardless, after visiting NJ Station and KH Station, my trail had run cold. I have no idea about Junwen's fate. I have no idea what he could have been doing in these two locations. I'm so ashamed that I ran away. But that's what I'm trying to fix now. I want to know where he is. I want to know how he's doing. And there's just the feeling that something is wrong. Why set the transaction times to 9 and 5? Is it a hint pointing to a work facility? A dog of his ranking wouldn't have that sort of activity pattern anyhow. Day to day, he wouldn't even need to use public transit if he wanted, though I wouldn't put it past him to take transit just to try it. I order an Ayu jelly lemonade, my favorite drink, well, second to bubble milk tea. Based. Just after I get my order and return to my seat, I spot Tueli coming in. For fun, I don't wave to her, just curious to see how long it takes for her to find me. But she spots me very quickly. Hey, there you are. Hi, Tueli. She plops down across from me. How are you doing? I'm good, I'm alright. I hope you have something helpful for me today. I do, in fact. Though you're not going to ask me how I'm doing. Cold and straight to business as usual. Huh? How are you doing? Tueli grins cheekily, smug that I listen to her. The truth is, she's grown on me despite my efforts not to get close. After the initial distance I put between us, she's yet to demonstrate any ulterior motive. Hopefully, this won't be a mistake. I've made so many mistakes in the past, trusting dogs that offer me a deal too good to be true. Well, I've been good. I've been great. Just waltzing my way around town as only a Labrador can. There, you happy now? That response wasn't anything of substance. I didn't even need to know that. It doesn't enhance a relationship or trust. Why would you care if I ask how you're doing? At this point, I'm just messing with her. A part of me is just curious as to how she would respond. Well, your answer was, also, I'm good, I'm alright. Which is typically just a canned response. But the way you said I'm alright makes me feel like it's not alright. So there was some information to be gleaned, and therefore, it wasn't a useless question. From that, I think I deserve to be judged based on even ground here. Okay, fine. You're right, I'm not that alright. I'm feeling a bit down, in fact. I tried poking around the 2 locations from the travel logs. I didn't get any results. The area was just too broad, and I know nothing about how my brother is related to those 2 areas. You know, I'm a bit surprised that you even admit that you're feeling down. The Sid I researched wouldn't never say that. Yeah, I would never say something like that to a busybody stranger like you. I stick out my tongue, trying to make it clear that I'm just joking. Though, to be honest, I've mellowed down considerably since those arena years, if I do say so myself. But you know, some habits do remain. In the re-challenged Arena 9 with Heifen yesterday, I was afraid of the sides of me it reawakened. And I was afraid of how quickly my mind relapsed to scheme ruthlessly against others. Yeah, that explains why you're still so rude and cold. Even though I'm the one that gave you the last solid lead you have about your brother. Maybe this one will make you really warm up to me. She playfully makes a flourish with her paws. I take a sip of my lemonade. The Ayu jelly is so juicy and refreshing. Good. I haven't had Ayu jelly in, like, a couple years at this point. I'm jealous. I am jelly! I'm listening. Well, I was able to get some security footage. The unfortunate part is that there's still no real sign of him on the dates after the final arena. Right. I suppose that's it then. The lead is that there is no trace of him. Say, Chueli? Yes, Ed? I'm gonna be frank with you. Her ears perk up, and she looks at me attentively, but also in a way that seems like she's bracing for a rude comment or joke. Not because I fully trust you, but, you know, it might help the investigation. You know what? I'll take that. Though my instinct tells me it's a mixture of both. You're just saying that it's for the investigation, so you don't have to admit that you're starting to trust me. I grin at her sheepishly. That's not how this works. But anyway, back on topic. I'm really concerned about whether my brother is even... if he's even... alive. Chueli lets out a heavy sigh. Right, I get it. You haven't seen him in ages. I nod. You have no idea where he might be. I nod. The island is a dangerous place. I nod. For dogs that don't rank high, like your brother. My point is, there's no reason for him to be in danger. It's more likely that he's gone into hiding. Right. I want to object. The previous day's arena encounter coming to mind. I have the highest ranking, for dog's sake, and I still get threatened and targeted. Maybe Chunwen was being targeted as well, despite not being in the bearer of the feather. I think I'll tell Chueli about this re-challenge arena when I have the chance. I think I trust her enough to. She would never backstab me, right? So, say he's alive. Is there anything in the footage to support that? Well, in the footage of the days before your last arena, he physically showed up at the stations around 9 AM and 5 PM. But the timestamps when the cameras captured him scanning his pendant aren't the exact same as what's on the transaction logs. For example, the log shows 9 AM daily, when the cameras, it's more of a caninely possible situation such as 9:01:53. He would arrive on time, but since there are other dogs in front of him, he couldn't control exactly when he scans his pendant on the gate. Another interesting thing the footage shows is that he was wearing some sort of uniform. With that, she plucks a photo out of her bag. It's the same uniform for a few days in a row, before the day of the final arena. I think this could be a hint. I squint and peer close to the picture. It's very blurry and hard to make out the lettering on the uniform. It's likely a logo, and just being able to have this image captured is a great lead. Do you recognize this uniform at all? I wish, but no. Do you? I have some ideas, but didn't have the time to double check. I'll send you a list of anything remotely similar to it. And maybe something will ring a bell? I guess I'm a bit surprised. The reason I didn't do more in-depth research is that I thought you recognized something that your brother wore so often. Not to make you feel bad about it or anything. I'll just do a more thorough check of businesses and work facilities in the area. Well, you're right to be surprised. We are siblings after all. It's a safe assumption that I might know something, but the truth is, we weren't living together at the time anymore. Sure, we messaged and met up now and then, but I was focused on my high-tier arenas, and so was he. At the time, it seemed like everything was coming to an end so soon. So I just thought I just toughed it out, barely in contact with anybody. I knew he was doing well in his arenas, but who'd have known that our brackets would meet just like that? It was a bracket that made the news for sure. But it wasn't half as scandalous as the news when the winner just ran away with every prize feather, and with a very prize feather that kept dogs motivated to win the arenas. I mean, I knew it was unavoidable to be talked about, but I wasn't around to know what was said about me. I've still been too ashamed to ask Max about what happened after I left. I could also look up the news articles, but same thing, too embarrassed. Don't worry about it. It was mostly unfounded speculation. Only you know the truth of what happened. It's your life. I guess so. Anyway, I'll hold on to this photo and you should send me a list of places you think it might be from. Yep. There's a list I quickly generated from an image recognition search. I just haven't gone through them manually yet to see what might make sense. That can be your next step. Thanks a lot for the help. She's so nice. Look at her doing so much hard work for me. You're welcome. You know what? Wanna go to the 2 stations and walk around? Maybe we'll happen upon something. Hey, that's a good idea. I finished my beverage and watched a sweet aftertaste down with a sip of water. I put the photo of my brother securely inside my sweater and we set off. At the MRT, I used my usual method to enter the stations, hiding my pennant face. First, we traveled to NJ Station. It's near the Central Zone, 2 stops from the Green Line from our current location. We decided to comb this area street by street. Li pulls up a map on her wrist phone, and we stroll down the street, then walk around 1 block, covering all sides. We then move on to the next block. By the way, Li, I need to tell you something. Li looks over and nods, signaling her attention. So I was challenged to some sort of arena rematch yesterday. Li stops in her tracks, her expression concerned. Go on. It was one of the runner-ups from my 9th arena. Somehow, she found me after my lunch with Max. I didn't believe her at first, but when she took out her pendant, mine reacted to it. We entered an arena generated for just the 2 of us. But this re-challenge arena was some sort of replay of the actual arena that happened between the 2 of us. It was weird. I had the consciousness of the me in the past arena. I don't know if that makes sense. It wasn't a new arena from scratch, but like I said, a re-challenge. That's a term the challenger used. Both of us were free to act as we wished, but the other participants in the arena all acted the same way as they did in the past, or only changed minorly in reaction to me or the challenger's new actions. It was like we were given the chance to change what we would have liked to change, and the arena would run its course with the decisions of our present selves. But I already knew what happened in the past arena. That's a thing. So the knowledge helped me deal with the other participants, even if I was clueless as to how the re-challenge arena worked at first. I was able to outwit the challenger herself as well, and so I won this one. And that's why I'm worried that if I'm being targeted and allowed to be re-challenged by one-on-one, the same could have happened to my brother as well. Li is silent, processing the information. Did the challenger tell you what she would be getting out of this? She said that if any re-challenger wins, they will get the Feather of Truth. Just like that? I shrug. She wasn't very clear about it, but my pendant reacted to hers, so I imagined something was programmed in place. You remember how in official RE-regulated arenas, we will go to those rooms and then are connected to the emulated reality with our pendants? Our pendants still connected us, but this time, out in the open, not in the RE buildings, and just one-on-one. Interesting and strange, but I believe it. Though it's so unfair that they could just take the feather if they win. Decades of your hard work down the drain just like that. Perhaps it is unfair, but maybe it's just righting the wrong that the feather went to someone like me. Sounds like someone's feeling awfully guilty about this whole feather bearer thing. Guilty? I guess I've never kept it a secret from Max. You'd be surprised how offended dogs get when you have second thoughts about the prize dangled in front of their noses year after year, while they're forced to participate in the arenas. It's not like every dog cares about the feather. Most just want the high ranking so they pretty much can do whatever they please on this island. You can live a life just fine without the feather itself, which is not the sole purpose of the arenas. I just feel hypocritical speaking ill of holding such power when I am the one that holds it. As we continue walking, I spot a sign that has a similar red lettering to Chun Wen's uniform in the photo, and take it out to compare. Do you think that could be the logo? Malmal Enterprises. See, red font, slightly slanted. It's missing that oval around it though. You're right. Features, font size, color. Perhaps one hot encoding of flourishes around the words. What are you talking about? Oh, sorry, just a habit. Let's keep looking. We head down the next block. Chue Li pulls up her hologram map and marks the route where we've walked so far. I'm just wondering, what were you expecting when you were gunning for the feather? Like, what did you plan to do with it after you won it? If you had any specific plans for it at all. Well, it's funny because in the very beginning, as a puppy, I wasn't interested in the feather in the slightest. The challenger from yesterday was actually one of the dogs that spurred me to aim for higher than I would have. Her name is Heifen. Heifen. The name rings a bell. Didn't you two have a really big fallout? I remember reading about it in some news articles. I guess that happened. Want to talk about it? I'm not sure about that. Oh, come on, just a bit. You seem to have something you to say about it. Ask her what information she has about Heifen or tell her. You know what? I'm gonna tell her. I'm gonna be honest with her. I can feel a connection between us. I'm pretty sure she'll accept me no matter what, so tell her about what the fallout, even if it sounds horrible. It's just difficult to talk about after I tried so hard to bury it, but I might as well just tell you a bit. It was Arena 9, I guess. By that time, I already had a reputation for winning my past arenas, all of them. Dogs were intimidated and dealt with that in various ways. For example, you know that superstition that dogs with white dots on their front legs or have white paws are unnatural? Chueli nods. From my research, I found that Heifen had stated that you were a white dot in many interviews, meaning you are a descendant of a family with a very violent history in the arenas. She used it to support her claims that you killed Fan Shu on purpose. You already know so much, huh? I'm impressed. Why'd you ask me about the fallout then? Well, things that happen can be looked up in archives. Only you can tell me your real thoughts and feelings. I guess so. I mean, she wasn't wrong. I do have a white dot. But I have no idea why it even matters. Some distant ancient ancestral tie to dogs I have no idea about. Plus, assuming everyone with a white dot is evil, it's just putting nature 100% over nurture. It's an excuse to justify how I won over her, in my honest opinion. But yeah, the real issue was that I liked Heifen. I actually wanted us to win together. Now that I look back, I have no idea why I was attracted to her. I would even have thrown the match so that she would win before the betrayal happened. You see, after that arena, I learned not to trust any dogs. Don't make any real alliances. If I did, I was mentally prepared for them to betray me at any point. I was ready to do the same. Heifen's betrayal taught me that what I need is freedom. Freedom from other dogs' wants and desires. Without that freedom, I will always be at the mercy of another. It seemed reasonable that, in order to be free of the whims of dogs, I would need to hold all the power for myself. I glanced at Chue Li, who's been silent. Hopefully this isn't boring her, but she asked. Sorry I went on a bit of a rant there. Am I losing you here? Nah, go on. So yeah, that's what happened. And there you have it, my honest opinion. Maybe my reaction to the betrayal was overly dramatic, burned by a romantic attraction that was spreading rumors that I'm a white dot murderer. Time to take over the island! But I was young, and choosing to make the most of it took me far in the end. I do regret how I was. You could have called me ruthless in the arenas, but I'd say it was more pragmatic. Seems like you're just trying to justify your guilt, just like Heifen was. Gah, right to the kokoro! Sometime later, we cover another 2 blocks, scanning the signage for the logo on my brother's uniform with some false alarms. I take some photos of those we confirmed to not be a match, just in case. Of course, I also photograph the ones that are still ambiguous. I wonder if I could figure out which dogs are going to re-challenge me. I suppose it's only dogs that participate in an arena with you, hence the re-challenge. Yeah, the fact that the re-challenge arena held the state or the memories of what happened in the past points to them being against dogs I have competed against. Say, Tueli, have you competed in the arenas? I have. But it's strange. It's more like I have memories of them. What do you mean? You know that whole waking up feeling? Like your consciousness is a bit woozy. Like the memories created in the arenas are trying to fuse into your physical body. I kinda get what you're saying. The way I think it works is that the memories of being downloaded back into our physical body, that might be what you're describing. Yeah, I do have memories, but not that feeling you get when you know a memory is 100% correct. Like the corresponding muscle memory isn't there. I don't think I noticed a lack of muscle memory. To me, it felt like I did physically carry out the actions in the arenas. Though that could have just been a trick of the mind to reconcile my memories with my physical body. I wonder if your Labrador physique or something genetic isn't fully compatible with the Ari hardware, if the muscle memory is something that is completely absent. Yeah, maybe. We walk along in comfortable silence. We're almost at the end of the last street we plan to scan manually. It's funny how this feels like a regular afternoon in Canine, strolling down the street with a lab, chit-chatting. I'm so curious how she ended up here. Maybe she's also a type of feather holder. What if she's a descendant of the fabled species of dogs that once lived on the island? My imagination is pretty wild sometimes. Either way, I think her actions so far make her just trustworthy enough. Although, there's still a deeply rooted thorn in my heart, the fear of another betrayal. Please don't betray me, Tueli! But I wonder, will Tueli be different? I'm rooting for her! Say, Tueli, I don't normally ask this, I really don't, but what is your rank? No worries. I figured you want to know. Wouldn't want to entrust your personal feelings information on some random dog. She takes out her pendant and flips it face up to show me. 9 large orbs are filled, with 7 of the smaller ones filled. You're 97, huh? Not bad. Thanks for showing me. Jannie puts her pendant back in her pocket. No problem. We look down at the last few buildings in the area. It doesn't seem like there's anything matching. Your brother's hint might be pointing to areas even further from the MRT station. Like I said, I'll run a graphical analysis the first thing when I get back. Alright, thanks. I should go, but let me know what you find. Alright, Commander Sid. See you back on the Normandy. Later. Why do I feel like she just made a joke I'm not getting? I don't get it either. Sometime later. I'm lounging on a chair in Max's apartment, waiting for him to get home. Last night I woke up back on the bed in the apartment. I vaguely remember Max carrying me up to the apartment, so I guess I wasn't fully passed out. I wasn't fully conscious either. A dog's body uses up nutrients, while the mind is in the comatose arena state, which is why the Ari hooks us up to all those life support things, in official arenas that is. Good thing that after a good sleep and meal, I feel well enough to meet with Tueli. Just then, I hear the locks clicking and in steps Max. Hey Max! You're up! He sits down, his body by the desk. When did you wake up? I think around noon? Thanks for the food, by the way. In the morning I had woken to take out egg crepes and a note on the dining table. It was from Max, and said to eat as much as I want and to text him if I feel unwell. You know exactly how much I love egg crepes. How could I forget, after watching you eat them every single day for 3 years? and that's what you ordered at Q restaurant. So I knew right then you hadn't changed at all. Gah! I know! Sometimes I'm an open book. Definitely a creature of habit.
Max makes a face at me.
How was your day? What were you up to?
Well, I went to meet with Chueli. She said that she had a new lead. I pull out the photo of my brother and I show it to him. He takes it wordlessly and scrutinizes it.
Oh wow, she managed to get the security footage. That's an amazing clue. She must have really good sources.
Yeah, I'm starting to think there's something fishy about that. I notice that Max has a strange expression on his face and doesn't seem to have heard me, so I look at him to see if he'll say something. He doesn't respond immediately.
You didn't tell me you were going to meet up with the lab. I mean, it's not that you had to. It makes me worry that you'd go without messaging me, just in case.
He seems upset. I'm sure he's just looking out for me, plus, now that we know dogs can re-challenge me, not to mention me fainting yesterday, it's reasonable that he'd worry that something dangerous could happen again. However, I wouldn't have gone if I didn't think I could take care of myself. Still, I should speak carefully. I know Max. He wouldn't bring this up unless he really cares about it. What should I say? Apologize and change the topic. Explain my reasoning. I'm going to explain my reasoning. I'm gonna be real with Max. Strange. It took me 7.93 seconds. Slacker. Rude! Look, Max. I can tell you're upset.
No, I'm not.
He pouts and glares away at the door, suddenly very interested in it. He totally is. I really thought I'd be safe going to meet up with Chueli. If I got ambushed, I would have Chueli to take care of me.
But what if?
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. What if she betrayed me or didn't look out for me? Look, Max, I know you're worried, but trust me when I say that I felt the risk was worth the information to be gained. Worst comes to worst, I was prepared to use a feather, that's all.
You're right. You can take care of yourself better than I could in a pinch. I'm sorry that I was so difficult, but give me a quick update next time you go running out, okay?
Alright, it's a deal.
So back to before I distracted you. You were saying that there might be something strange about Chueli?
Yeah, after meeting Chueli today, something has been on my mind. Like you said, she has really good contacts. She seems to know dogs' ranks as well. Even I don't know where to start looking for that, so I can't imagine how difficult it might be for the general public. However, she does have a really high rank, so I wonder, she could be using her rank to get the information, in which case I'm not too happy about that. Or she works at the RE.
So you're saying the information might be classified, so she either used her rank rights, or she simply has direct access to it herself.
Yeah, yes, either or. It's silly of me to not know much about the Allocated Reality Institute itself. I should have learned more about their operations before I left the island. Do they really allow such loopholes for information leaks like high ranks? Like rank rights? Max's tone turned serious.
Sid, it is perfectly within the lab's right to use her rank rights. I doubt that any RE member would be an exception. Any dog has to obey the dog whose rank is above them. It is the purpose of the RE to determine who on the island is deserving, and to separate the good dogs from the bad.
I grimace. The rights to alter reality are located accordingly. My voice is just a croak. Even after so many years, I still remember the dogma of the RE.
Huh. Now imagine having to hear it again and again, day after day.
I fell for the Allocated Reality Institution's promise of a dream. We all fell for it. Max sighs.
It's the way things work. Even if you don't use rank rights, everyone else is still doing it. If Chueli did, would you hate her?
I mean, it wouldn't be fair to hate her. I think I would be disappointed, but yeah, it would be unfair to judge her for using her rank rights. So, I try to use my rank rights as little as possible, but I have used it before. I can't enforce my values on someone else. Either way, I'll try to get the information out of Chueli on what her sources are. Does anyone know the typical ranks of dogs that work at the RE itself anyway?
I have no idea. I think their members are kept secret. But I've heard that dogs that are keen on an RE position aim for very high ranks.
I see.
Be careful, Sid. I mean it. I really hope the RE itself isn't out to get you. Especially now that random dogs in the street can just kidnap you and force you into an arena.
Eek! I certainly hope the RE isn't after me. I like to see them try, though. Yeah, I want to see them try, not gonna lie. I'm worried, but it was actually kind of... fun? Ooh, I like this route. Can I go full villain? I thanked you for getting breakfast for me, but totally forgot. Thanks for bringing me back last night.
Ha, no problem. You're kind of awake, but definitely not awake enough to come back yourself. I was prepared to stay till the arena was done, no matter how long it took in real-world hours.
Yeah, even though time passes much quicker in the arenas, there's no telling how much time it might last, huh? How was Heifen after we woke from the arena, by the way?
I called a cab for her as well. Woke her up enough to ask her to pay with her own pendant.
Nice. Speaking of which, how much was it? I'll transfer you some tags.
Don't worry about it. I mean, I already see where this is going, if you'll insist because you feel bad.
My face grows red, though I know he's just joking.
Buy me a drink next time.
Okay, deal. Just then, I get an email notification.
Ooh, Trey Lab. On Babork Talk.
I've attached the sheet of company names and their logos generated from the image recognition. I've included the raw list as well as marked down ones I would delete after checking manually, but I've left them in case you spot something. Got it. Thanks, Trilly. Download files. Say, Max, you want to help me go through these?
Sure thing.
We spent some time going through the sheet. In the end, we still have quite a long list of logos that could be a match. I have an idea. Hey, QL. Could you do some search? Could you do a search of where those companies are located physically?
Sure thing, one sec.
Moments later, I get a message notification. Download files. Perfect. New columns have been added to the dataset with the addresses as well as geohashes. Ooh, so reliable. I plot the locations onto a map, leaving only the ones that are within a certain radius to NG Station and KH Station. I tinker around with how large the radius should be, eventually settling on encompassing just up to the stations preceding and following them on the MRT lines. If you'd really left some hints related to the location, it wouldn't make sense if it were somewhere too far from the two locations. It's amazing this can all work on wrist phones.
Yeah, I know, right? I remember when you had to do even lightweight work on computers.
In K9da, I worked for technology research, and we were using the equivalents to desktop computers here for the most things. The processing power of phones isn't as advanced there. Things in general aren't as convenient, but my work, basically, we were responsible for developing and improving technologies, hardware, software. I took a lot of inspiration from what existed on the island.
I bet you had quite some suggestions for them.
I did. When I left, technology on the island was still more advanced than K9 does. So I was able to repurpose some of the software for use in K9da. The dogs I worked with were brilliant and came up with most of the implementation based on their current hardware capabilities. As we chat, I send Max a copy of the data. Upon receiving the mail notification, he pulls up the data. Alright, let's go through these data points first. You do Station KH and I'll do NJ. Max nods in agreement, and we pore over the map with a renewed focus. One by one, we examine the details of every company on the shortlist, in case there's something of a significance based on its exterior appearance or the type of goods or services it provides.
Hey Sid, take a look at this.
He points to a name on his hologram map. Obsidian Rock Industries. Office location, 9th floor. This could be it. No, this must be it. I'll go through the rest of them just to be sure that there's nothing else.
Yeah, I think I could catch this one because I know enough about you. But if there's an even more obvious hint than Obsidian Rock, you'd be the best off to catch it.
Yeah, you're right. Either way, there might be something else to look for since Obsidian Rock is near KH Station.
There might be a clue near NJ Station 2.
Yeah. I continue looking down my map. I'm around halfway through and nothing really rings a bell. There's a bunch of coffee shops, but all of them had opened after I left. Even if Chunwen had wanted to hint at somewhere we went together, I couldn't reliably say if I could recognize it by name or pictures. It's been over a decade, my memory isn't that good, and the establishments might have gone through renovations.
Hey Sid, I looked at the company. Their website is really bare bones. Just lists their address and has a picture of the exterior of the building. Nothing about what they do.
Interesting. I'll pay a visit tomorrow. I pull out my messages and debate whether to tell Chueli. I'm still not 100% sure if she might be an agent for the Ari or something. Just in case, you know, let's put another save down. Just in case, but I am going to... But nah, she couldn't be working for the Ari. She would never betray me. And we'll see you later. Good luck at work. I don't think that's an... I don't have enough proof to be sure, though. I decided to tell her, either way, after all. It's not like my brother would just be living at the Obsidian Rock Industries office address. Knowing him, it's probably just one step in several more to actually find him. So even if Chueli does work for the Ari, this wouldn't be the last step to finding him. I might still need her help. When push comes to shove, I could still double-cross her later. And since Obsidian Rock is one of his hints, it means that only myself and dogs I've known for long enough could plausibly decipher this. Though given Chueli's track record, I can't rule out the possibility that she already knows the significance of Obsidian Rock, or could find out. In the case that she hasn't figured it out yet, I suppose there's no harm in just telling her the name Obsidian Rock, but not the meaning behind it. The meaning of it. When the investigation reaches a point where she cannot proceed on her own, I will no longer be dependent on her for new leads. Basically, I'll use her as much as possible, with the new complication that she might be a double agent. Maybe I shouldn't worry so much. Chunwen must have put in some safeguards to prevent a random third party from finding him. Let's just hope that my trust in him won't jeopardize him. Hey QL, could you help us look up information on Obsidian Rock Industries? It's near KH Station. Okay. It's pretty fun though. Chunwen and I used to play scavenger hunt games like this. Before the arenas, before everything, when we were just puppies living on the plains.
Living your merry life with the prod dogs?
It's been so many years, but you can't come up with the new jokes.
Old habits die hard.
Jeez, I guess it's still kind of funny. Makes my stomach hurt kind of funny. It's hurting in a bad way. Damn, I lived a decade in peace away from these jokes from the island. I deserve this, seeing as I used to make fun of prods with even more gusto, with real venom too. Later that night, I am Tima of the Top Clan. My superior, Monukai, summoned you on behalf of Master IU. I knew I shouldn't have wandered down the deserted alley, even if it was a shortcut to the MRT station. I'm so fed up with all this mediocrity around me. It's poisoning me, dragging me down. Why did I have the luck of ending up here? I deserve better. No matter the cost, I will escape from here. Island Year 204, Arena 5, Day 4, morning. What?
Are you sure you don't need any help with carrying that, boss?
Actually, could you help me with half of it? I grin sheepishly and hoist part of the sticks I was carrying on my back to her. Thanks so much, IU. No problem. We continue on in comfortable silence, back to what we had dubbed the beach house. It's pretty quiet here, situated in the sparse forest, looking over the ocean. Short palm trees dot the island, which is actually quite vast. We picked this location because it's relatively secluded from both sides by a half basin. Strangely, it doesn't seem like any other dogs come to our side from the island often, but when we go further north along the coast, we can usually find them. And of course, eliminate them. We have plenty good luck with that so far.
Back in the beach house, we sent down the fruits and sticks that we had foraged. Sticks go in a pile next to the door, while fruits go into plates, which are really just wooden planks. Going through the motions of foraging and eating, it doesn't seem like we're hunting each other in a race to the top. After all, a dog doesn't need to be in the first place. Making it to the top 5 would be good enough to proceed in a competitive bracket. However, I doubt these prod dogs are really thinking that far. Why did my parents have to move here? Ayu and I eat the fruits in silence. My ears are alert in case any intruders decide to pay a visit. The next part of our routine is to take a walk east around the coast. Tidying things up and putting away our plates, we close up the beach house and trot towards the beach. The sand flows and shifts pleasantly under my paws, making a soothing trickling sound. With deliberate steps, I allow the sand to cover my paws, enjoying the sensation of the particles running between my claws. In a shallow area of the water, there sit rocks covered with sea lichen, with interesting cavities from erosion by the waves. Ayu hops around on them, and I follow, the waves lapping at my feet. She leaps off one of the rocks, submerging herself fully in the water before bobbing up and yanking me down with her. I yap in surprise, but quickly shut my mouth as I'm plunged into the water. Bubbles burst all around me, and I flail my limbs to float upwards. The light shimmers under the water, and I see seaweed and coral painting a colorful backdrop in the ocean before I emerge with a gasp of air. It's deeper than it looks. I splash Ayu with water, and she sticks a tongue out playfully at me before she treads away, paddling with her front limbs. I'm gonna get you back for this! We proceed to have a lengthy water fight before we head back on the shore. Alright, time to get serious. I reach up to my face and pretend to adjust imaginary sunglasses, a gesture which she returns. It's a ritual of sorts, which just naturally came into place. A sign of teamwork and camaraderie, mutually acknowledging the good work that we've done over the last 2 days. 2 days ago, Island Year 204, Arena 5, Day 2. I pin the yapping dog down on the sand. I don't further attack her, though, simply holding her in place. Call it a respite before the real pain begins. Ayu, who'd been hiding just in the line of the palm trees, comes bounding out. She joins me above the pinned victim, taking a huge swipe at her neck. The body I'd been pinning down slowly dissolves into ashes, its particles floating into the air. Ayu and I watch it disappear, as if a living being wasn't there just seconds ago. I hold out a paw towards Ayu, and she meets it with a high five. Sweet! That's another one down! Hell yeah! I put a paw up to my face, pretending to adjust an imaginary pair of sunglasses. Ha! We're so good at this! She mimics my movement, a smile as smug as mine on her face. Where to now, boss? Don't call me that. But let's keep going clockwise down the coast. Maybe we'll find an area that's good to set up camp. We walk for what seems like a couple of hours until the evening, not encountering any other dogs. Kind of strange. There have been fewer dogs since we started heading southwest. Well, it does seem like we all spawn on the island in the same area, around the northeast shore of the island. Weirdly, I keep having a dream that instead of spawning, we were dropped into the arena from a flying bus. Anyhow, it seems that there aren't many dogs that bother exploring the island further. Or teaming up, for that matter. I wonder if they expect to do well, or even plan to. Like you said, we're prod dogs. I don't think it's something we really think about. I'm glad you're special in that regard, though. It's strange being the only non-prod dog here. I take your paws in mine. But I know you want this as badly as I do. We'll rank top tier in this arena and proceed to a good bracket, which we deserve. Ayu nods vigorously and gives me a determined smile. We continue on our way and decide to head deeper into the foliage before it gets too dark to see.
As luck would have it, we stumble across a small hut. We double-check the perimeter, checking for signs of inhabitants. With me at the rear as backup, Ayu then charges inside. It turns out there's no one inside, and so we make it a temporary base. The next day we forage further down the island, but don't find any more dogs. We get a good haul of supplies and bring them back to the hut. 2 more days pass as we continue using the hut. We decided it would be a waste to not use it as a long-term base and name it the beach house. Island Year 204, Arena 5, Day 4, afternoon. I'm in the beach house, drafting up a rough map of the island as we've explored it, and the locations where we had spotted dogs. Of course, I also have markers for where we eliminated dogs, to the best of my memory. It really seems that they don't care that much and are treating this like some sort of resort or playground brawl at most. I didn't want to believe it, but it seems prod dogs only have brawn on their side. As any good dog will know, that has never been enough to go far in historical arenas. I take a final look at the map, proud of my work. My thoughts are interrupted by knocking on the door. Tap, 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 tap. It's the knocking pattern agreed on with Ayu to verify our identity whenever we enter the beach house. I should be more vigilant of my surroundings. I haven't been outside the beach house to check for activity since she went on patrol. Even if I didn't hear anything suspicious, I should be more proactive and not treat this like some urban office. As expected, Ayu enters, and the first thing I notice is her flustered expression. Immediately, I'm concerned. Did she have an encounter? Will she follow back here? Boss, I saw something bad. She pauses, catching her breath. Tell me everything. I straighten up, waiting for her to calm down and gather her thoughts. I saw 2 dogs team up and eliminate another. They were actively on the hunt and seemed very strong. I'm worried. Ah, got it. Thank dog. I thought it might have been something worse. Did they notice you? I don't think so, but I think they could track me down if they want to. They had a pretty elaborate system set up, just like us. Alright then. As long as they didn't spot you, there's nothing to worry about. But like I said, they're definitely a threat. It's the first time I've seen any other coordinated teamwork on this island. Look, I know it's surprising to see some intelligent behavior for once, but don't sweat it. If we run into them, just deal with it like we planned. The same way we eliminated those individual dogs? Yes, that's right. But I tell you, it's different. Like you said, I'm the boss, am I not? Do as you're told then. Yes, boss. She trots off, ears drooping. Maybe it was too harsh. I see where she's coming from. Prod dogs are usually born in families that never had higher rankings, so of course they don't know much about arenas or even know about the benefits of winning. Of course, they didn't have much cause to study the past arenas and to come up with strategies before Paul. It's such a waste because the key to becoming a good dog lies just under their noses, if only they make an effort. It might be a blessing that my parents came to the plains, which is why I ended up competing with the prod dogs. So the fact that some prod dogs happen to team up is nothing to worry about. Or is it? Island Year 204, Arena 5, Day 5. The day after, we go on our daily scouting trip. Ayu is quieter than usual, and the air hangs silent without our usual playful banter. She's still worried about what she saw yesterday. I'll let her worry, I guess. It doesn't seem like there's much I can say to persuade her otherwise. I have to make the best of what I have, and currently that is Ayu. Plus, there are fewer dogs left now. It makes sense that the remaining opponents would be more of a threat. We can't afford to mess around like them anymore. Maybe there will finally be an actual challenge. We round a bend in the shoreline to our usual relaxing spot in the ocean rocks, and I try to cheer Ayu up. I hop on the rocks, reaching to her with a paw. Hey, do you want to take a break? Sure, if you say so, boss. Gee, I feel like you call me boss when you... I feel bad when you call me boss when you say it with such a low spirit. Good, she seems to have lightened up a little. We hop around, splashing in the water just like any other day. Say, boss? Yeah, Ayu? I know you said not to worry about the other dogs, but I'm kind of scared. Oh, I guess you have that on your mind. But what is it exactly that you're afraid of? What makes them a threat? Can you list all your reasons to me? I try to be patient, understanding,
I mimic the slow professional cadence that my mom uses when she speaks on the phone. It sounds pretty soothing to me. I don't know, they're just so scary, and why do we have to do this? She plops down on a rock, not minding that it's slightly submerged in water. I believe what you said about this being the key to having a life that a good dog deserves. I know there's more for me to experience beyond what I currently have, but is this really for me? I'm just a prod dog. With that, she covers her face in her paws. I can hear her sniffling. My patience is being tested, but I wait for her crying to subside a little before addressing her concerns. Look, all I know is that I want to go back to where I came from. When I was just born, I lived in a city full of lights. Life there is so much better, and the arena is designed so any dog can live that life. No matter your litter, the arena is a completely fair environment for everyone to get the life they deserve. It's the perfect equalizing mechanism, Ayu. It's so easy. All you have to do is kill some dogs in the arena. Well, technically you don't even kill them, you just destroy their pendant in a virtual world. As long as dogs do this, they can come out on top in the equalizing mechanism. That's what I want, Ayu. And now's not the time to be showing weakness if you want it too. I pat her shoulder. Look, I know that you still want this, and in return, I want you to trust that I can get us through this arena no matter what. We're a team. Ayu doesn't respond, so I grip her shoulder and shake her. It is really bad timing for my arena partner to be in such low spirits. Stay with me. We'll get through this together. We'll get through this together. That's the spirit. Alright, let's get back to the beach. We can chill some more. Take your time. I'll go in the water. Come join me. I don't really feel like it. It's fine if you don't have to. I'll be back in a bit. Yeah. Leaving her to mope, I dive into the water. The water is clear, shimmering in the light. I dive deeper, following the rock outward and away from the shore. Ooh, cute! Underwater doggy paddle. I'm feeling boundless. Underwater doggy paddle. I'm going faster than the TTC back in canine, duh. Underwater doggy paddle. What should I do next? Underwater doggy paddle. I'm feeling boundless. Okay, fine, both paws. What should I do next? Left paw. Oh! A force slams into me from above. The air is knocked out of me and I reel under the pain, my side throbbing. I feel paws scuffling and grabbing me, inching around my neck. My mind barely pieces together the fact that this is the same dog that dived on top of me. I struggle and kick the water, twisting my torso. The dog, who I can see now is larger than me, scrabbles around my neck and torso with his paws. I know exactly what he's trying to find. I drop my hind legs and kick into him, propelling myself away. Uh-oh. However, there's a splash and another dog dives into the water from above. This one misses me by some distance, though, since it failed to knock into me with a dive, like the first dog did. Where on earth did they come from? I didn't see any dogs on the rocks when Ayu and I were still there. I take the chance to propel myself up to the surface, breaking it with a small splash. Ayu! Ayu! I waste no time barking for Ayu. The smaller dog bursts out of the water as well, as a few paws reach away. We both make a beeline for each other, and I take a huge swipe at her chest. She twists away, but there's a small movement I want to see, blurt out with my feint. Her paw reaching up to shield an area of her clothes. Huh, big mistake. She swipes me as well, but like my first swipe, it has no real target to pinpoint. Of course, I'd hidden my pendant well within my clothes. I know how to shield it and reveal its location, unless it's a real risk of being hit. In response, I lunge in for the kill. I have you! My paws connect with something hard under her shirt. Bingo! Boss, boss! Just in time, I see Ayu up on the ledge, looking down at us. When I was fighting the smaller Shiba Inu, the larger dog that I initially escaped from seems to have retreated. I see no signs of him. Probably a good chance, as he obviously saw that his companion had been eliminated. I wave up to Ayu. Hey, how's it going? Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm good. Just had a little water fight with some new friends. I'll be right up. Ayu, watch out! A figure knocks into Ayu, and I can see that it's the first, larger dog that had ambushed me. How do you even get back up there? The rocks are so steep. Ayu is scuffling with the dog. He's trying to pin her down, but she's putting up a good fight. Ayu, jump in the water now. Ayu uses her hind legs to push the enemy off, before rolling and twisting straight off the cliff. She lands with a splash. However, the opponent, who heard my command as well, follows suit. Great, he's taking the bait. Above water, Ayu would probably be in a sticky situation, although I have seen her fight off larger dogs. However, now that it's 2 versus 1, he stands no chance. I'm certain of that. Ayu, stay in the water for as long as you can. Ayu obeys, and with that, we both dive down. It must be quite confusing to Mr. Attacker here. But he won't be around for long enough to figure us out. Following us, he dives down and lunges for Ayu. I paddle closer, but leave Ayu to her own devices as she battles one-on-one with the attacker. After a quick observation, I figure out where his pendant is located. It's not like it's a creative hiding spot. I can clearly see that it's in his jacket pocket. I still don't offer Ayu any help, despite being at a good vantage point behind the opponent's back. But I use this positioning for another reason, gesturing for her to come back up to the surface. The opponent can't see, but I know Ayu did. The reason to break surface again is that, in the water, I don't think Ayu has enough strength to break the enemy's pendant. Our fur combined with skinny Shiba Inu limbs makes it too difficult to get a good hit underwater. But as Ayu and he breaks for air, I make my move. And with that, it's over. Perfect timing. Ayu's as cheerful as ever. The source of her previous anxiety over the arena proved completely wrong. At least, that's what I hope. It was the first time we defeated 2 dogs at once, boss. Wow, just like that, and they were eliminated. Yeah, though I have to admit, their strategy was pretty sound. I can't believe they found that little cave in the rocks that was just slightly above water. Also, they must have been tracking us for a while and waiting for us. Yeah, they totally figured out our routine. It was amazing that you held them off for so long. Yeah, it was thanks to you that we managed to get them both. I would have lost in a fair fight. You just somehow knew exactly what to do. In the moment, I had no idea why you told me to dive underwater. But I'm glad it worked out, boss. Yeah. If you took the time to question anything, nothing would have gone well this entire arena. And with that, we head back to the beach house. We silently agreed to stop patrolling the shore for the day. Island Year 204, Arena 5, Day 7. As the days pass, Ayu and I explore other parts of the arena. We eliminate some dogs in the way, but eventually we encounter no more. After another couple days, it seems like there are only 2 more dogs left on the island. Oh, look at them! They have matching outfits! Oh, they're so cute! We had spotted 2 from afar, at what we guess is their base of operations. It's further north in the arena, closer to the original spawn point than the beach house. While they don't seem to have a structure like the beach house, we observe them often circling a set area. It's like the domain. Ayu and I decide not to venture closer until we have a sounder strategy. We refer to them as a second duo, as they are the second organized pair in the entire arena we've seen, that is, apart from Ayu and myself. That would explain why the arena's emulated reality hasn't been terminated yet, but this dog-darned island is too vast to force us into an encounter. That would mean either those 2 or the first duo had been picking off dogs. Ayu and I had eliminated a fair amount, but judging by the numbers, we could only take credit for eliminating around a third of the actual cohort. Ayu and I set up some traps and sound makers near our base. After all, the first duo had our shore-side hangout figured out, so it's fair that anyone could have found the beach house as well. Of course, it's not like me to only plan a defense. Ayu and I set out making an offensive plan too. We don't want to be caught off guard like last time. But it's good that Ayu has higher spirits and is loyal as ever, doing anything I say without question. It's often a pair that is determined to make it to the end together, that do well in the early arenas.
It's only Arena 5 for me, so the ranks are in batches. That means that since I'm already one of the last 5 remaining dogs, we all get the same score. But of course, I still aim to survive to the end of this arena, and I am very excited for that upcoming arenas. From my understanding, starting from Arena 6, it's individual rankings that matter, meaning each dog you outlive counts. Island Year 204, Arena 5, Day 8. It's the day after we last confirmed the second duel's base. Ayu and I are getting ready to shepherd them into our trap. I'm really excited to execute our plan. I can finally test out my mind in this arena. It's too risky to set up a trap right by their camp, as we could be discovered at any time, so we set it up somewhere further, which is the direction we'll herd them to. Once preparations are done, Ayu and I split up. She's a decoy, and I will wait for a signal to proceed on my part of the strategy. I hope everything works out as planned. Not that I don't have some contingency plans up my collar, but a number of situations could happen. Like, what if they just gave birth to 2 puppies who are now their minions? If that's how it works out, that's amazing. It would be 2 against 4. Anything could happen. I wouldn't have accounted for that and a million other scenarios. So my thoughts keep racing without rhyme or reason. It seems like the stress of the last few days is getting to me. Really, I just want to get this over with. Though if I don't have the discipline to be patient until the end, do I really deserve to survive? A few moments later, I am lying behind some shrubs waiting. Finally, I hear some commotion. About time! I wonder if something delayed the window of opportunity for Ai to act. But no big deal. I trust that she waited for the best timing. It sounds like the dogs are heading my way. Time for action! Ayu comes bounding into view. Fast on her heels are... Wait a second. These are some of the largest Shiba Inu teens I've ever seen in my entire life. When Ayu and I had observed them from far, nothing seemed out of the ordinary, but now, as they run side by side with Ayu, I can see that they are huge. Could it be they're Akita Inus? What are Akita Inus doing here? There's a small population of Akita Inus on the island. Though often mistaken for Shiba Inus in terms of appearance, Akita Inus are much larger in terms of size. They also have their own arena bracket due to the physical difference, the top performers of which then compare with the middle tier of the Shiba Inus because there are much more of us. The Akitas historically don't make it much further, the highest being around the 70th percentile in final rankings. I never thought I'd have to face an Akita. This completely throws off our plan. Uh-oh. They were right at our trap. In this area of the forest, we had laid out a web of tripwires to capture the enemy while I could come in and join Ayu. Being the faster dog of the 2 of us, of course Ayu was the bait. Of course, Ayu had the traps memorized so that she could bypass them with ease. Ayu and I set up the traps at a height that would trip most Shiba Inus. As it was, Ayu had to jump over some of them. The Akita Inus were only slightly hindered by the tripwires. Now that Ayu knows that things are not going according to plan, she must be waiting for my instructions. So why am I so indecisive? It's as if time had frozen. I'm trying to come up with solutions to win, but my train of thought keeps hitting a wall. I try to gather my thoughts, but the wall resists me. It looms up over me while I stand small underneath it. My only idea is to stall. Okay, Ayu, let's hope this works for the sake of you and me both. To the clearing. Terrified as Ayu seems, she makes a small nod. I can only watch helplessly as she dashes around the 2 dogs, back into the trap zone that we now know will work against the Akita opponents. The enemies must have heard me, but as I'm still hiding in the shrubs, they don't seem to bother stopping or splitting up to find me. I'd hoped for them to split up. My heart sinks. This would be a true 2-on-2. I dash out from my hiding place and give chase. Of course, I'm not getting much distance on the 2 Akitas, as well as physically fitter Ayu. Ooh, that is a big difference in size. Ayu buys me time, taking more of a zigzag route, allow me to close the distance in a straight line. One of them looks behind the shoulder, spotting me. Ah, here's another runt. Ignore it. Let's get the first one. Ignore it. Let's get the first one. She's running towards that clearing. It'll be an easy pick. How can things turn out alright this time? Despite the fleeting but compelling thought to turn tail and run, I press on towards the clearing where Ayu must be ready. Thank goodness the trap zone at least slowed them down. My mind is working better now, after a bout of anxiety. Ayu and I are smaller, but we're more nimble. At the clearing, Ayu stares down at the two dogs, who advance on her. Please be safe, Ayu. With no time to waste, I run up and try to bite down on the dog's tail. Oi, you! They whip around to face me, unsure of who to tackle first. The surprise factor buys us a few seconds. I make eye contact with Ayu and start barking pointedly at the Akita Inu on the left. Hopefully Ayu understands. I want to focus on the brown-coated one first, who is the one I'm barking at. If we can whittle down the numbers, there may be hope. You've got a real temper, you! The brown-coated one pounces on me, and the larger one on Ayu. I flatten my body and dash to the side. The dog misses. From the way they wordlessly divide their work, they have a good rapport. Take that, you! She takes another swipe at me, which I dodge again. This goes on for several times. Occasionally glancing at Ayu, I see she's dodging the attacks, but the size of the enemy makes it difficult for her to find an opening to join me. How are they so bad at this? Maybe they're trying to tire us out? Or maybe it's because they do seem like brawn types after all. Let's test this! So, how come Akitas like you are in our arena? Not answering that. Haha, what's the harm? We just didn't show up to our arenas. Figured it wouldn't matter. I was able to skip some of them, but one day, dogs from the Ari showed up at the door. Because the few Akita brackets had already progressed pretty far, they had to put us in with the Shibas. They circle around us. My legs are starting to feel sore. I know I can't keep this up for much longer. I have an idea. I yap at Ayu, dashing back towards the trap area. Untying one end of the tripwire, I duck and hide. Ayu rounds the trees, two in pursuit. The white one lags slightly behind. I take the chance. I run up quickly, circling around the dog and pulling the wire around her. She yaps but falls on her side, her limbs all tangled up. I jump on her and attack her torso. I claw and scrape at her body as if I'm digging a hole in the ground. I just grazed something solid. I hope it's her pendant. What could have been a clean hit only missed because she twisted her body in the other direction. Haha, you missed. Well, now that I know I had been aiming at the correct spot, she didn't have to announce that I would have hit her pendant. However, she starts wriggling in the bindings, and I don't have time to spare. Ugh! I don't have the strength to hold her, and she kicks off the wires. You're not gonna catch me. She gleefully leaps upright, but tumbles to the ground again. Ayu had circled back and is biting the enemy's tail with all her might, holding her briefly in place. Not a chance! Got him! Yes! Only one left to go. Where is he though? Did Ayu give him the slip? But now it's 2 versus 1. I just have to plan to take him down. Ayu, behind you! I wince as he pounces straight for Ayu. Thankfully, Ayu dodges him. No time to waste. I yank at another tripwire, but the knot is tight. Then help! I glance over at Ayu. Ayu's tail is pinned by the other dog. She struggles in vain, but only succeeds in yanking on her tail. I don't have time! I stay put, ignoring Ayu's yelps. Oh, I'm so sorry, Ayu. Gah! I just need the tripwire to come free. After a couple more moments, I untie the knot. I run toward the dog, just as he takes a fatal swipe at Ayu. No! She locks eyes with me as she dissolves. There is so much pain in her expression. It is the face of realizing that I didn't come back for her on purpose. Oh, I'm so sorry, Ayu. Oh, man. It's too late for her. And it's too late for me to have any regrets. And with that, I trip up the other dog and wrap the wire around his leg. Now. Present day, Island Year 224, Arena 5, Day 1. I knew I shouldn't have wandered down a deserted alley, even if it was a shortcut to the MRT station. The island denizens are so unkind to me, one of their own. Will I be able to survive this arena again? Oh no, is it a rematch? Well, I'm gonna go for the pain and suffering later, because oh, this makes me sad. Dang. Dang, this game. It hurts me. If I use the one who re-challenged us, I understand, girl. The betrayal. Oh, I feel so guilty. I think I am actually the villain. I thought, hey, maybe I'll go on my villain arc, but no, I started off as a villain already. Dang. Well, I'll continue the feels later. I'ma just save here for now. Yes. Double save, just for the funsies. Oh, the feels! So much feels! I will continue the game next week. I wonder if we'll find Brother by then. If not, it's fine. I just hope everything's gonna be good. Like, our Labrador friend will never betray us. Max will never betray us, right? Totally, it's gonna be fine. I'm just gonna stay positive. Gosh darn it though, this game. It is so different than how I thought it would be, but I love it. I'm entertained by it. Though with that being said, thank you everyone for stopping by the stream. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. Gosh darn it. This game be wild. So fun. Oh, the drama.